You know what that means. The sound of White Claw popping. It's another Be the Obvious Choice podcast. My name is Tyler Miller. I'm your host. I am a real estate agent. I run the Tyler Miller team here at eXp Realty, and started this podcast because there's so many amazing people in my life that are just really, really good at what they do. And I'm just like, man, I don't know how to feature these guys. You know, what should we call this? And I'm just like, well, they're just the obvious choice of who I would reach out to in the event I needed some advice in that aspect of life or business. And so that's why I started this podcast, to bring in people that are just so good at what they do. And I'm very excited today to be joined by the one and only Ron Connor. He is the Terminator, Mr. Connor. And you're going to learn a lot about Ron today, but the reason Ron is on the podcast today and why he's the obvious choice for me is he works as a relationship manager at Marigold Home Inspections. But I know Ron more so as like the greatest socialite of all time, meaning Ron is at every event I've ever gone to in the last 3 years in real estate. I don't know how he does it. It's incredible, while having 3 children and a full-time job and coaching and all this stuff. But he's always at every event. He's always working the room. Everybody in the industry knows Ron. And I'm super privileged to have you on the podcast today, Ron. So thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
So anyways, that's the intro. Let's get into it right away. And Ron, I want people to get to know you really quick. So Give us a little background about just what people should know about you and your life, maybe your family makeup, where you grew up, and then a little bit about your work history, how you got here.
Okay. Well, first and foremost, thanks for having me. I'm originally from Northeast Minneapolis, so it still shocks me that everybody wants to live there now.
Yeah.
Because I was trying so hard not to live there growing up. So.
It's a little different now than what it was, 30 something years ago?
Yeah, 30, maybe 27 years ago, somewhere around there. Yeah. So it was a lot of fun, and then I actually moved to Blaine at 15.
Okay.
So that's when I got introduced to Northwest Suburbs.
When was that? What year were you in?
That had to be about 2003.
Okay. Yeah, so we were in high school at about the same time. What
I graduated Blaine in 07.
Okay, so I was 05.
Okay.
At Champlain Park, Rebel Pride and Victory.
Yikes.
I know, right? It's
Go Bengals.
I know,
all day.
It's why did I have this Blaine Bengal on this podcast today?
Is it Brooklyn Park or Champlain Park?
It's Champlain Park.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in Brooklyn Park. It's confusing.
Yeah, I know you guys get a little mixed up over there.
Yeah. So anyways, sorry. Continue.
No, so I went to Edison for a little while, and then I moved out to Blaine, and then I went to Blaine. So that was a whole new experience for me. I mean, back at that time, Blaine wasn't even developed.
Yeah.
So it was shocking. I thought I was moving to farmland. Yeah. To be honest.
Trailer park capital of the world back then.
I did not go to a trailer park until I moved to Blaine.
Really? Yep. Hey, fun fact. This is totally not part of this at all, but I was conceived in a trailer park.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Shout out to mom and dad.
shout out to the Millers.
So you are looking at some trailer trash right here, baby.
Oh man, not anymore. You're good.
Yeah.
No, yeah. So that I mean, honestly, that move helped me with my life in general, man. Honestly,
yeah.
It just helped me get around more people. I mean, see diversity, and then not seeing so much diversity going out to Blaine was just a complete culture shock. I didn't even know what Doc Martens were. When I moved to Blaine, I was like, what are these?
How many Doc Martens do you own now?
I don't own any.
Oh,
none.
Did you ever?
No.
Okay.
No.
So you didn't get that, you didn't get that dialed into the culture.
No, I wasn't that dialed in. I still like tennis shoes.
There you go.
Yeah. No, so then I played basketball there.
Yep.
And then I played traveling baseball as well. So that kind of transitioned me to Hamlin. So I went there. I only went there for 2 years. My stepmom was actually, she was in the office, and so I got a pretty big discount there.
Yeah.
And then I also got a scholarship. I had one from 8th grade from an essay I wrote, and then I also got a scholarship for sports as well.
You got an essay for
General Mills. Yeah, General Mills back in 8th grade. I wrote an essay just about my life, and I wasn't going to do the assignment. The teacher was like, you should do it. So I did it, and then they gave me $10,000 towards college.
No way.
It was awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And then you also got one for basketball.
For basketball.
What was your position in basketball?
Point guard. Well, shooting guard, but then, as everybody started getting taller, I stayed at 5'11", so then I had to stay at point guard.
So what was your go-to move in basketball? Is it drive to the right layup, drive to the left? Is it a step back three?
I mean, okay, Tyler. I don't know. Elbow? Did you play basketball?
No.
Okay, so step backs and those. Sorry about that. Step backs and those things were not a thing.
Wasn't a thing then. Yeah.
No, it's all new.
Pick and roll.
No, I was more of a driver. I was probably like, if you watch James Harden, I probably played a lot like that.
Okay.
I didn't really like defense.
You kind of have the beard like him, a little
I
bit.
wish.
It's an epic beard.
Can we get his bank account?
Yeah, right.
I'll
Let's
take
go.
it.
Share a little bit.
So yeah, I lived there, and then I went to Hamlin. Then I actually came back out. My dad was a real estate agent growing up since 2000.
Okay.
He actually passed away in 2021,
Oh.
but all those years he was agent. So
Where was he brokered at?
he started at Coldwell.
Coldwell. Okay.
Then he left. I won't say why he left. And then
There may be a realtor or two
yeah,
listening.
and then he went over to actually IBR. Do you remember that?
Briefly, I do remember IBR. I don't know much else about
They were
it.
like the first cloud-based broker back then.
There you go. Look at that.
Yeah. So then I believe they collapsed. I want to say they turned to Better Homes and Garden.
Okay.
I think it was the same owner.
Okay.
Then he left there, and he had a team of like 5 agents. I think they all did about 30 deals, his agents underneath him. So
Yeah.
they didn't really need him, but I think he was like a 40, 50 deal guy.
Nice.
So he did okay.
He did that full time, like after you got into high school, basically, like middle school?
Yeah, middle school, high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was doing that all day. So I had a lot of free time at
Cool.
home.
Yeah. So did you because my dad was also in real estate.
Okay.
Did you help him with like the map book and like tell him where to go
Yep.
and all that stuff? Did he have like a brick cell phone back in the day?
Brick cell phone,
Did you ever have the suitcase cell phone?
Nope, not the
Okay.
suitcase cell phone.
My dad had a suitcase cell phone too.
But
Oh,
I
man.
remember like when he got calls, it was like, you need to shut your mouth.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, so you've been a part of that.
Oh yeah. And
So-
and now I'm teaching my kids the same lesson.
The moment that phone rings, me and my brother were like, don't talk.
Don't talk.
Say nothing. Because back then,
In fact, leave. Just
well,
leave.
you know, now in business, like, it's okay to have, like, things in the background.
But back then it wasn't.
No, not at all.
Yeah. No, now it's kind of like, if you don't want to work with me because I have children, like, I'm sorry. but
Yeah.
This is real life. You know?
Exactly. Dogs are barking. I get called
Right.
all the time,
Oh,
dogs
gosh,
barking.
the dogs,
It's
yeah.
wild.
So, okay. So you went to Blaine High School. You went to Hamlin, got a scholarship. You played ball there.
Correct.
Balled out.
Yeah, it was decent. It was good. It was a good time. It was a good learning experience overall.
Yeah.
I hurt my knee a little bit at Future Stars Camp in Iowa. So I was just like, I need to transition into something else. So I started I almost got my license actually.
Okay.
And my dad, I did all the grunt work. Do you remember before showing time?
Oh, yeah.
So I was doing all the emails for him for lockbox codes.
Oh, my gosh.
And I was pretty much his secretary.
Yeah.
To say the least.
Yeah.
So it wasn't fun. And I was like, you know what? I got a really bad taste in my mouth about real estate now.
Yeah. That would not have been fun at all.
So we fast forward. I started doing like a couple different bartending gigs just to transition. I stayed there, and at 20, 21 years old, you're making pretty good money back there. So we started an entertainment company. I started doing music on my own. So that's kind of the reason I started bartending, because I needed something flexible
Okay.
where I could still make cash.
Wow.
So I started doing my own music, and my dad's like 150% kind of guy. So he's like, hey, like, we're not going to just do this. I got a name in Minnesota. It was going great. And he's like, we're going to start our own entertainment company.
Yeah.
And you're gonna run
Prestige
it.
worldwide.
No, it was creative entertainment.
Creative entertainment. I like it.
So his broker was Creative Edge Realty.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice. So, and you just DJ'd. You didn't like perform?
No, I did perform. I rapped.
You did? You
actually,
performed?
yeah.
Really?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Do you have an album out somewhere? Do you have some songs
I
somewhere
got
so
some
we could
stuff
dig
I
up?
can send you.
All right. Is it online anywhere? Is it all?
No, it's all
Okay.
removed.
Dang.
Yeah.
It's all removed.
It's
Oh, you
all
removed
removed.
it. Dang, I was definitely gonna go find someone and put it into this podcast.
I had to just have somebody I had to remove it all, because I was like, if I ever reinvent myself, this has to be off.
Right.
So.
Little vulgar at times, maybe.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I was like 23,
Yeah,
24
dude.
years old.
Oh, the stuff I would have sang about or rapped about it in my 20s would, I'd have to remove it too.
Now it'd just be like working and red wine and scotch. Nobody wants to hear that.
It's Ron Connor sipping on some red wine. That's it.
Every time.
Every time. That's the whole song. All right. So you did creative
Creative entertainment.
Yep. And then you transitioned to what after that?
So we did that for about 5 years. So we were
Okay.
traveling with a couple different rap artists. So we were pretty much promoters.
Yeah.
We never did it in Minnesota because they have like so many guidelines on alcohol and things
Really?
like that.
Okay.
It's just really strict. And everything closes at 2 here. I know it sounds late to most people,
Yeah.
but 2 o'clock's pretty early to
Yeah.
the rest of the nation.
Yeah.
So we did it in Chicago, Houston, Atlanta. So we travel.
That sounds like a blast.
It is.
Like
It's
you
a
had
fun
you
life.
had to have had a lot of fun.
Way too much fun.
Yeah, way too much.
Yeah.
Fun.
That's why I'm boring now.
Yeah. Hey, you had your fun.
Correct.
Right? That's like what I say about like whenever I go on a diet or something.
Yeah.
I'm like, I had 35 plus years of eating whatever the hell I wanted. I had my fun. Okay, it's time to kind of scale it back.
Yeah, exactly.
So I hear you.
Yeah, so we traveled. Our biggest one was actually Kevin Hart.
You had Kevin Hart?
Yeah, we had a Kevin Hart walk. Actually, I have a picture here to show you.
I got to see this.
You're gonna see it.
So you were representing Kevin Hart, or you just?
No, so we got in contact with him. We paid him $80K for a walkthrough, and he showed up.
$80K for a walkthrough.
A walkthrough is
yeah. What is that?
Sorry, I'm scrolling for the picture.
No problem.
Quick.
I'm looking at a Kevin Hart photo. Is that you in the front?
That's me, man.
Dude, look at you.
Years ago.
How old was Kevin Hart here, you think?
I don't know. That had to be about 2011.
So like I don't know.
12 years ago.
Yeah, whatever. 12 years ago. So I mean, he's probably in his like late 30s.
Yeah.
That's crazy, dude.
He was standing on the couch. So look at how short he is.
Are you standing up straight?
I'm
well,
straight.
You're kind of like leaned
over, but he's on a couch.
Is he when you see him in person, you're like, damn, he's short. Like,
yes.
It's just like,
yes.
Yeah.
You're like, you're funny, but you are short.
Did you see his most recent injury?
I saw him running.
And he ripped something from his abs.
Yeah. Wow.
And now he was like doing a video, and all of a sudden he like goes a little higher with the camera, and he's in like a wheelchair. He's like, can't walk. I was sprinting to try to beat some former NFL guy for what?
Yeah.
For what reason? I'm just too old for this.
He's rich.
Oh my God, he's so funny. Well, that's sweet. So a
walkthrough. So you say you're the artist.
Yeah.
We're calling Tyler Miller in.
Yep.
We promote the show for about a month or 2 months. You're just coming into VIP to drink with you and the Tyler Miller team.
Yeah.
We pay you $80K to be at the club for 2 hours.
I mean, if you guys want to do that,
yeah.
we can get it back together.
How many people can you bring in? That's what we need to know.
I don't know.
So you make money off the door, and then you make money off of alcohol sales and all that.
So if you pay, in this example, you paid Kevin Hart $80K. He came in. Mm-hmm. How much money on average is something like that bringing in?
Most of the time it's half of the. So what would that percentage be? So
you pay 80,
you make 40.
It was 120.
So 120
net was 40.
Yep.
Wow. I mean, it ain't a bad day's work for a couple months of promoting and then having fun.
Yeah, having fun. You got to pay out we were pretty much the crew, and then we had I guess they call it like a street team.
So is that what a lot of these celebrities, like when they are making appearances, that's basically what it is, right? It's called a walkthrough?
Correct.
And he stays for 2 hours.
2 hours.
He gets paid.
And gets to drink for free.
Everything's comped. Yeah.
I don't think he drank.
Probably not.
All of his friends drank though.
Yeah. And how many people does he have to actually talk to?
Most like the rap artists are like a little more reserved sometimes. But like Kevin Hart, he was really nice. He was waving everybody. He let me and my buddy come into the VIP. Like we hung out in VIP with him the whole night. So
super nice guy.
Super nice guy. He made fun of me for like 30 minutes straight because I almost fell. I slipped on like a champagne glass or something, and I almost fell, but I caught myself. And he was the only one that saw it. So he was just on me for 30 minutes. Time. Yeah.
Like you go to stand up, he's like, "Oh, hold on."
Yeah. He actually retweeted it. I was like, "You remember me?" He's like, "Yeah, you almost busted your ass."
Yes.
So it was awesome.
Oh man, that makes me love Kevin Hart even more. I love him. So okay, so you did that. I mean, it sounds like an amazing experience in your life. Early 20s, just having a great time.
And I had 2 kids at the time.
Okay.
So it was getting tough. Like they were both going through kindergarten.
Yeah.
First grade, maybe second grade. I was just like missing some of those things, like bartending. You're working at night, you're gone for the weekend. My son was just getting into sports.
Yep.
So it was pretty tough. So
what are your kids' names again?
Raiden is my son. He's 12 now, and my daughter's
Raiden.
Yep.
That's like the coolest name of
like
all
the Mortal
time.
Kombat character.
Yeah. He was my favorite Mortal Kombat character.
I thought about it, but I was like, these kids nowadays, they're not going to know who Raiden is.
They won't at all. It's just for us.
Yeah. Old people.
Yeah.
And then my daughter's name's Rayanne.
Rayanne and Raiden.
Yep.
Awesome.
So, they were kind of getting into their own groove in sports and just a lot more things happening at school. And I wanted to be an active dad and be there. And so, and his baseball coach sucked.
Yeah.
So I was just like, you know what? Like, I'm going to come back and coach and let's do this. So I had a I worked at Stella's for a little while, Blaine Tavern. And then actually it wasn't my worst job, but I made a lot of money there. It was Applebee's. I was bartending there in New Hope.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I made like, I don't know, it was like $300 a night back then.
People are just willing to throw tips around at Applebee's.
Throwing tips, man. It was like the same people every day.
They're coming for that Bourbon Street steak,
Yeah, bourbon.
that Oreo shake.
Coors Lights, man.
Oh man.
So yeah, I did that for some years, and then I guess fast forward, I worked at Topgolf
Nice. When it opened right away.
when it just opened.
Yeah. Because that wasn't too long ago.
No, I want to say five years ago.
It probably was three.
It was like a year before COVID.
Ago. Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
When was COVID?
2020, 2021.
Okay,
I don't know.
I know. Yeah. Okay.
Right?
Yeah. So somewhere around there.
Yeah. 4 or
Yes.
5 years ago. It's crazy. It's crazy. It just seems like it just got built, but
Yeah.
we're just old, dude. That's it.
Yeah.
I remember it was very side story about Topgolf. There's a neighborhood right on the Mississippi there, like really nice houses, and I happened to be going for a listing opportunity at that time, and the guy or the husband and wife, these old people, were complaining to me about this new proposal that was coming, and they didn't say Topgolf or anything like that.
Okay.
They had a diagram, and it was like these giant nets,
Oh wow.
in the air, and it was going to ruin their sight lines for whatever, the
Yeah.
sunset. I don't know. And at first I'm like, yeah, that seems really like stupid. Like,
Yeah.
like why would anybody do this? Like, we need to fight this, And they were like going to get all the neighborhood together, and then like they obviously failed.
Mhm.
But to see what it is now, I'm like, that thing has increased your property value. I guarantee it, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Like everybody loves Topgolf.
Yeah, they do.
So, you just never know what's going to happen, I guess, until it's done. And then, I mean, I personally, my assistant lives down there. I think it's probably helped all their property values.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like one of the nicest things that Minnesota has right now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
For entertainment.
Well, especially in the winter.
Yeah.
What the heck else are you going to go do?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, everybody outside of Minnesota thinks we're outside all day in the
Yeah.
winter, but
No, we're not.
No.
It's just the one video we post a week of us outside sledding.
Yeah.
For like 10 minutes. Had a great day sledding for 5 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. You see one hot chocolate in the snow. That's what you do.
Yep. Just like ice fishing.
Side story, I asked, so we were down in Texas for inspection Empire Builder, and none of these people have been to Minnesota. So I just made it a point. So I was like, it was like June. I was like, do you think it's snowing right now? These guys are like, hell yeah. I'm like, dude, where do you think you are?
Like, don't live in Antarctica.
Yeah.
No, that's the tricky thing about Minnesota is it's extreme weather.
Yeah.
It's not just cold. It's just it's extreme. In June, it's way too freaking hot.
Okay.
In my opinion,
Yeah, it's hot.
The humidity, gross.
The humidity sucks.
Yeah, and then in the winter, it's -40 with wind chill, and it's just like.
But
can we
could
just
you
get some
imagine
normal stuff?
a place without 4 seasons though?
I could imagine a place without the deep freeze part of winter, but I do love like December, even parts of January. But after that, I'm like, all right, let's go. Let's
September, October are like my
Oh,
favorite.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Hoodie weather, bro.
Hoodie and shorts.
Hoodie and shorts. I rocked that
Yeah.
just yesterday.
You're not a Minnesotan if you're not.
Oh my gosh, fall is the best for
Yeah.
sure. So I would miss fall a lot if we ever didn't live in Minnesota because it's by far the best.
Correct.
Football weather, crisp air. Like I just want to get out and tackle someone. You know
I'm
what
a
I mean?
big pumpkin spice guy. So,
Are you?
Yeah, I love pumpkin spice.
Caribou or Starbucks?
Neither.
Neither. What do you do?
I like small businesses. I would rather
Okay.
go to like a Spy House or something good.
But what if they don't have pumpkin spice?
Oh, they do.
They all do.
Everybody does.
Okay. I don't know.
Oktoberfest beer.
Yeah,
Oh, that's good.
I agree. I don't love beer, but I do like the October kind of the flavors that they bring out.
Correct.
Yeah.
I
But-
forgot where we were.
Sorry, yeah, we were at Topgolf.
Okay, yeah, I was at Topgolf. I think I was 31 at the time. I was in the hospital for 10 days. So I had a prostate issue.
At
a young
31?
age. Yeah,
Jeez.
31. So I was in the hospital. They didn't know what was going on with me. And then, not to shade Topgolf, but they didn't really handle it like the most professional,
Yeah.
in the most professional way. So
Yeah.
I was like, I kind of need something new. But it was COVID, so
Right.
like I was still getting paid, so there was nothing to really worry about.
Right.
Out of nowhere, Curtis, we were at the bar, I believe, and he's like, "Hey, Ron."
Curtis
Larson is the owner of Marigold Home Inspections. A good friend of mine. I've known him since our kids were in second grade, so 5, 6, 7 years.
So you guys met through like a
Sports.
school? Oh, through the sports. Perfect.
Yeah, so just being a part of the community. We're both active in the community, coaching kids.
Does he live in Blaine?
He lives in Coon Rapids.
Coon Rapids. Okay.
Yep. So he actually lives right by the high school.
Okay. Nice.
So he's like, "Hey, you're one of the most connected people I know. I think it'd be good if you help my business out. It's kind of a new position.
Yeah.
I can't promise you like a big paycheck right away, but I can guarantee it the year after if we put in the work. So
Yeah.
I said no, or I didn't say no. I was just like, hey, let me think about this. Once he said
This is during
proposal.
COVID.
During COVID.
Too. Yeah.
Yeah. And then like COVID like ended. So that was kind of like when you guys were doing the virtual walkthroughs.
Yeah. Yep.
So that just stopped like when I got hired.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that anything different.
Yeah.
So it was a whole new world for you guys too during COVID.
Totally.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a good couple of weeks there where people couldn't even go in the houses.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And inspections definitely weren't happening that often.
No.
Like it was starting to phase out a little bit due to how crazy the market was getting. And so, yeah, very interesting time to enter into Marigold Home Inspections.
Yeah, I really didn't know what to do. So I spoke with my father and I was like, hey, is this something I can do? Are these or can I get these numbers pretty much?
Yeah.
He's like, I think I wouldn't tell anybody else to, but I would tell you to go do it. So
Yeah.
thought about it and now we're here.
Now you've been there for the last
2.5
2
years. So May of 2021 is when I got hired there.
Okay, May of 2021. Well, Curtis, if you're watching or listening, it was the best hire you ever made, buddy. Other than my former BFFFF, Brittany.
And my current BFF.
Yeah, Ron stole her from me. But yeah, that's another crazy story. So my childhood, I grew up in Maple Grove on Boundary Creek Terrace, and my next door neighbor's name was Brittany Moxness. And we had the best time, and then we moved away. And I, for whatever reason, could never find her on social media, nothing like that. And I always every once a year, it would pop in my mind and be like, I gotta find Brittany, because I hadn't talked to her.
Did you spell her name right?
I think so, but I didn't. But she had changed her name. You know what I mean? Because social media wasn't even around until we got into college, and then we didn't have cell phones back then, so it's just I don't know what happened to these people.
Yeah.
And we're on this cruise or this top producer or real producer boat cruise thing.
Yeah, that was like my first event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're I go upstairs and the place is freaking packed. I mean, you couldn't even walk in this boat. It was incredible, but there were so many people there. And out of the corner of my eye, I look and I see Brittany. And I haven't seen her in 20 plus years easy, probably even more. So I don't even know what she looks like as an adult. The last time I saw her, we were 10.
Wow.
And I turned and I immediately knew it was her though.
Yeah.
And I go walking over to her and I'm like, are you Brittany Moxness? And she's just like, Tyler? And it was crazy.
That's insane.
And then I think I'd met you before that, but just to know that you guys were all kind of working together and stuff. And now we use you guys for inspections. We actually just set one up this morning, just so you know. I saw that. And Brittany helps coordinate all that stuff. So it's super cool that such a small world.
For sure.
But yeah, that blew my mind.
Yeah, I think I met you one time briefly. I didn't know it was you per se.
Yeah.
So she was like, "Is that Tyler Miller?" I was like, "I think so."
Well, I had blown you off
yeah,
I don't know, 3, 4, 5, 6,
it
10
happens
times.
all the time.
I'm Ron Connors from the future. I don't know if I can trust this guy, the Terminator. No, I just you know how it is in our world, dude. It's just crazy how many people want to meet us and earn our business and stuff. But persistence pays off. I can tell you that. And everybody I talk to and I mention your name, oh yeah, I know Ron. At this point, you know what I mean?
I'm glad.
So, all right. So that's a little background on how you got to where you are today.
Mm-hmm.
So now I want to get into what have you specifically done for Marigold Home Inspections? What is your role, and maybe take us through some quick numbers and accolades since joining that you can kind of point to as how you're crushing it right now.
I guess my main role is agent retention.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the biggest role that I have. There wasn't really a game plan for it originally.
So hold on, let's go back really quick. So people that aren't in the industry, because it could be my grandmother listening, Betty, who I love.
Is it
she might
Betty?
be listening. Betty Ann. Yeah.
Hi, Betty Ann.
She is amazing and a big fan of you, I'm sure, at this point, because we're friends. But what they need to know is when you say agent retention, so your main clients are real estate agents.
Yep.
Right? And real estate agents, we get an offer accepted. At that point, if the offer is contingent on a home inspection, which a lot of them are, we then usually have a few recommendations for our clients, so they're not just picking someone blindly and having it go horribly wrong.
Yep.
So your job is to be on that list, basically, for the agent to send to your client.
Their client.
Or to our client, yep.
Yeah.
So anyways.
It's kind of, no, that was well explained. And a lot of people don't know that, like, our job is to work with the client. Even though my job is to speak with agents,
yeah,
it's hard to get to the clients actually buying homes.
Yep.
So that's why we go through you guys.
Yep.
So my number one job is, I guess a better way to put it is to get on that. Isn't it 3? You guys are you supposed to have 3?
Ideally 3.
Okay.
I sent only 2 last night.
Okay. Yeah. So
and you were on the top of the list, so they picked you.
I love it. So my job is to get on that list, and then also build a relationship with those real estate agents that are, even if they're doing 1 transaction to 100 transactions.
Yep.
I think that's what really sets me apart for that.
Yeah. So talk about where Marigold was when you joined.
When I joined back in 2021, I want to say we were just wrapping up with. Okay, I guess it'll be easier. Curtis started by himself. He did 75 inspections part-time as an accountant, actually, which a lot of people don't know.
I can see it.
So he was just like, hey, I don't really like the way, like, I can't have a beer with these guys afterwards. Like, I kind of want to be, like, people-facing pretty much.
Yeah.
So then he did 200 the next year solo after he quit accounting. And then the third year, that was back in 2018, that's when he hired Blake, and they did 400 together.
Wow.
So 200 apiece. So when I joined, we were on the track to do 1,000.
1,000 between Curtis,
Blake, and there was a couple other guys.
Did you
too.
do any inspections ever?
I've never done any inspections.
You were just the hype guy, the client relationship guy.
Yeah, I've been to a few inspections here and there, but I've never done one. You don't want me there. It's funny because like I meet people, and I even meet the clients now too, and they're like, well, why isn't Ron here? I'm like, you don't want Ron there.
Yeah.
Not at all.
This isn't Ron's thing.
No, not at all.
Ron's at a party. He can't be here right now.
Yeah, you want to call me for coffee? I'll be there.
Right.
So yeah, we're on the pace to do 1,000. I think from May to December, I only brought in, I can't remember. I want to say it was like 180 inspections out of that. So it was like an 18% clip.
Who was your first big addition? Like, who can you point to that sticks out as like, hey man, this was amazing. Like Curtis was pumped, that you got this person to come in.
One of the first big, or I guess it wasn't like the first big person. Do you know Hannah Knudsen with Pemberton?
Yeah.
That was my way in with a large amount. She was like the first person I met that could bring me to more people.
Yeah. She's well connected. She knows a lot of people.
She's well connected. And I guess I called on a follow-up, and she was like, hey, you should come into the office. I showed up. It was kind of hard to win Crystal over, who was on the team there too. So that was probably the first person.
That's
that
amazing.
Met a lot of people. Actually, another guy, I sent him an email. His name's John. I want to say Bisey is the best way to say his last name. He's been in real estate for like 30 years.
Okay.
And I sent him an email. He got it while we were on the phone, and he's been using it since.
That's amazing.
So I think since then he sent me about 20, 25.
Well, I know Hannah. She's part of our group at EXP here, and I've partied in Vegas with both her and Crystal, and yes, they're very connected and very outgoing. So yeah, good people to get in with right away. But yeah, shout out to Hannah.
Big shout out to Hannah.
That's amazing. Anyway, sorry, continue.
So it was 18% then. And I was just doing like sales 101. I didn't do any office visits. I was really just in the office grinding every day, cold calling.
Yep.
And it was horrible.
Yeah.
And to get a break, I would go on an inspection, or I'd go hang out with Curtis to see what he's doing.
Yep. Was Curtis doing inspections at that point?
He was doing inspections at that time.
Is he? He doesn't anymore, right?
No.
Okay.
No, you don't want him doing inspections anymore.
Yeah. He'd just be like, yeah, this looks good.
Yeah, it looks great.
Anyways, I got a party I got to get to.
It's a 2023 build. I'll do it.
Yeah. Right.
No, yeah. So, it was fun. So I was just like, you know what? I need to be me. And that's really when it changed. So like December, we went to a couple events, and I was like, all right, I'm starting to like crush these events. This is what I need to be doing. I don't need to be in the office cold calling.
No.
I want to work it like you guys work it.
Yeah.
Like referral base.
Yeah.
So then that's kind of when I made my transition.
And you just discovered this like kind of on your own.
Yeah, because there was no like way to do it.
Yeah, and there's not like there's
nobody
like a
that can
role
teach.
model for this job. It's a very specific job.
Correct.
There
was nobody that could teach me. I mean, Curtis. No. I mean, that's the biggest thing with like inspections. Like if you're one guy, it's hard to get to, because if you miss a meeting, you might be missing out on an inspection. So
Right.
it's like you have to pick.
Right.
So
Yeah, it's that we call it a J curve in business and especially in our industry. But like, it's basically in order to expand, you're going to decline a little bit.
Yep.
And then hopefully that J comes back up and it explodes like it probably is now for you guys.
Correct.
But yeah, it's a scary kind of sacrifice that I'm sure Curtis had to make at one point to bring in Blake and then bring in admin and hype guys and whatever. It's like he has to take his eye off the ball for a little bit of
Correct.
what makes him money to help you guys. But
well, we started like getting rolling. So I was like, hey, you should probably get a couple more inspectors. And he's like, if I get a couple more inspectors, you're gonna need to bring it in. So like, I'm all for a challenge.
yeah,
So like, let's do it.
so you guys kind of pushed each other.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
cool.
And he gave me so much flexibility.
Yeah.
On my job, like company card, company vehicle. So I really don't have to pay for anything when I'm walking in. So it just makes sense.
Company phone.
Company phone.
Right away.
I got that
There
too.
we go.
So yeah, makes it really easy. So the next year, we did 1,800 inspections. I brought in 895 of those.
Wow.
And 185 new agents.
So you're accounting for like half the business at that point.
Yeah, like
That's amazing.
45%.
Curtis just had to be so pumped.
Yeah, we were all.
I mean, but
Yeah.
but just to see, like, taking a chance, saying, "Hey, Ron, I can't pay you a whole lot.
Yeah.
Just I believe in you. Like, you're super well connected," and to have it kind of pay off for him, and then also obviously for you to be like stepping into your greatness, right?
Correct.
Like, it just had to be such a cool time.
Yeah, it was really fun. I kind of miss all those times because, like, I know Blake, Brittany, and Curtis kind of started all together.
Yeah.
And I was like the last piece of like the OGs.
Yep.
So it was a lot of fun, and we're all really close too.
Yeah.
So it makes it fun.
Yep. So up to 1,800 inspections, just 1 year.
1 year.
So almost 100% increase.
Almost 100%. So yeah, that was our first year, I guess 80%, which nobody's gonna be too mad about, right?
No.
So this year we're on pace to do about 3,000. I think I am at 152 new agents this year.
Wow.
And I guess revenue, I think last year I finished revenue at 475. This year I'm at 675.
Already,
yeah.
Wow.
So
That's
it's been
incredible,
fun.
man. Well, and again, you started doing this job at the worst possible time
It's horrible.
for home inspections. Like
It's horrible.
COVID plus, hey, by the way, there's 20 offers on a property. How are you going to win? I can waive the inspection. Like, that's all we could do sometimes.
Yep.
Right? So it's like, God, you guys just were getting hammered.
And we can't even talk about, like, not to sidebar too much, but like how the boom of agents happened during COVID.
That too. Yeah.
Because some of those agents I reached back out to, they're like, I'm not in the business anymore.
Right.
Because you sold 10 quick houses.
Right. Yeah. So you built relationships with people that just weren't going to make it because of the environment that they came into the industry in, which was like shooting fish in a barrel.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I guess I'll sell a house if you want me to.
Exactly.
Total opposite. It's like, can please someone let me sell their house? Please.
You got to be crafty, man.
Oh, my God.
And it kind of brings me back to when my dad was doing real estate back in like 07. 07 was the big crash, right?
Yeah, 07, 08, 09.
Yeah, okay, yeah. And he was like one of the only people I seen like within his groups that were thriving during those times.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just a testament to being crafty.
Well, and it's just hard work.
Yeah.
Staying consistent, I'm sure. I'm sure you get it from someone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, we couldn't even sleep in growing up, man.
Yeah.
So I still don't sleep in.
Yeah. I do now. My dad, he'd let me sleep in, but he'd make me feel bad about it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and whatever. I was sleeping in really late because I'd stay up playing video games all night, but it'd be like noon.
What, Nintendo 64? Or?
Back then, I think it was like PlayStation, probably.
Okay.
Playing a little Madden or NCAA, building my dynasty,
Oh, yeah.
Just
I remember
crushing
those
it, dude.
Those are the good days.
God, man, I built the best teams. Ain't no one could have stood up against my teams.
The
Telling
dynasty?
you what. Oh, yeah.
I
recruited so good. It was
don't
insane.
like college football that much, but
I don't either, but
I like
the
betting on
recruiting aspect. Oh, you like betting?
betting on college football? Easy money.
Easy money.
Easy.
I'm awful at betting on sports. Every single time I feel like it just goes the complete opposite way of how it should have gone,
No.
But
Those
you'll have
sports
to
are so easy.
You'll have to show me. I don't know how.
I'll show
I don't
you.
know what I'm doing. Apparently, I used to be good at fantasy football too, and I don't know what the hell happened there. But all right, so obviously you're crushing it right now. You're super valuable to your company. It all started from you betting on yourself.
Yep.
And somebody seeing something in you that they kind of ran with. So that's fantastic. So I have a few questions written down, and so let's get deep for a minute on, all right, Ron is going to a party or going to an event. First off, how do you find all the events? Because you're at every single one, and I don't even know about half of them.
The real producer events that we go to,
Yeah.
Curtis has a pretty good relationship with Chad Jeske.
Yep.
So that's kind of how we got the ball. And Chad Jeske, a funny story. Curtis was like, I got a family thing, I can't go, so he wasn't supposed to present. So I ended up presenting at one.
I was there.
Yeah, you were there.
Yeah, that was the first year of the award thing.
That was at the mansion, right?
Yeah.
And then Chad wasn't too happy about it that time, but it's fine. So then the next time after he's seen that it went well, he's like, you should invite Ron next time.
Hell yeah.
And he's like, yeah. I mean, Curtis is like, Chad, that's his job. So
at that
it's a good
mansion,
story.
we had a party bus that night. I don't know if you remember.
You guys
that.
were all wearing the gold
We all rolled in
suits.
with the gold suits.
Yeah.
And so I won't name any names, but one of my former administrative people got a little too intoxicated on the bus. And I was so focused on Kayla winning the agent of the year or the assistant of the year. That's all I cared about. I was up for some awards, whatever. Great if I'd have won, but I wanted to make sure Kayla won. And so the whole time I'm just I was just dialed in on you presenting and just making sure that when we get to Kayla, if she wins, we celebrate. And she ended up winning, which was amazing.
Yeah.
And I kind of go up to, my whole team was sitting in this corner, just jammed in this corner booth because there was no room in there. And I go up and I'm giving them all high fives, and my administrative person was crying, but crying and not a happy way, crying like they were scared of something. And I was like, what the hell's going on? And they're like, are you going to fire me? And I'm like, why would I fire you? And they're like, then he kind of stopped talking, and everyone else was like, he threw up everywhere, in that room, but he threw up in one of my other agents' suit coats because there wasn't a bag. So he just kind of threw up in it. And I was just like, no, I'm not going to fire you. We're having a good time. I was like, you want a shot? Oh my God. It was such a funny. I'm like, when did this happen? It was in the middle of you presenting awards, and he was a very discreet puker.
Jeez.
So he hit it very well.
Damn.
But anyways.
Welcome to TMT.
Yeah, the team. That's what we do on the TMT. There's a reason we didn't go to the next year's one, because I was like, oh my gosh, I can't do that again.
Yeah, no.
But okay, so you get introduced to some of these events through real producers, other agents,
teams,
I'm sure.
just building good relationships with teams. So
are you asking them hey, what events are you doing, or do they kind of just reach out at this
people
point?
kind of just shoot them to me
because they want you to sponsor or just be a part of it.
Sometimes a sponsorship. I would say 65% of the time a sponsorship. Other than that, it's hey, you should show up, have a good time, because I've built a good enough relationship with the agent. And it's it's just, it's good for social media. It's good for everything. So
right.
And I want to be a part of it too. Whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
I actually invest myself with some of these agents that I work with. They're not just friends, or they're not agents anymore. They're friends.
Yeah.
And we work together. So
hey, cheers, buddy.
Cheers to that.
I love it. So walk me through your mindset going into an event. What is it what makes you different than everyone else that goes to these events? Okay. So I think anyone in our industry could get something out of an event for themselves or their business if they really wanted to. 99% of people, they come to the event, they sit with their group of friends at their table, they don't talk to anybody, and then they jet, right? They don't even do a social media post. They just, I don't even know why they're there. They're in, they're out, nothing, right? They just want to drink, basically. So I think you see what I'm alluding to, but in your mind,
what am I thinking?
What is different about how you are just working these parties in your favor? What are you saying to people? What's your go-to?
First and foremost, is just, if I can give any advice, it would just be organic, be yourself.
Yeah.
It sounds really stupid, it sounds cliche, but it's real. You have to have an objective going in there, right?
Right.
I mean, not by now, everybody knows why I'm there, right? They know I'm a part of an inspection company, but I'm not going to keep selling inspections.
Yeah.
I want to sell good business.
Right.
So at the end of the day, like I'm really thinking about like who do I need to meet that I haven't spoke with? Who's that person like you named that's in the corner that's not speaking?
Right.
Let me go speak to them.
Right.
Let me take them over. Let me buy you a glass of wine.
Well, and you
whatever
can be
want.
everyone's friend.
Yeah.
Like, as a realtor, sometimes it's sometimes hard because realtors get defensive, or I don't know. I don't know
Correct.
what it is. But for you, it's like you could literally help everyone's business in that room.
Yeah.
And there's no one that should be unwilling to talk to you. Like, you got the company cards, you can throw a few drinks out there, you know,
Right.
you can make everyone happy, right?
But I look at it like if we're talking from a sales standpoint, I'm looking at like, hey, we're planting seeds here.
Yeah.
I don't really need to sell inspections yet.
Mm-hmm.
You may not use me yet. You may not even have another transaction for 6 months.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
You know? So like I'm just like, hey, now you know me. You've seen me once. Now I'm not a stranger. Now next time I see you, we can talk as friends. I can hear more about you and your personal life and what you do.
What's your follow-up like? So do you have a system, a routine where, like, let's say you meet people at a party, are you taking mental notes? Are you taking notes in your phone somewhere of people to add to social media, to add to your system? Like, what are you doing there? Is it just all memory?
Most of it's memory, honestly.
Okay.
Like
Look back at photos and be like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
I think I remember that person.
Yeah. No, especially if I have like a one-on-one conversation, I think it's a special gift of mine. I can tap back into that conversation that I had. You might be the same way.
I'm the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
I don't really need to do notes. And my notes do say like, hey, like not you, like we talk all the time, but
Yeah.
like other people I might say, hey, they have 2 kids play soccer. So next time
Yeah.
I go to that actual meeting,
Yeah.
I have those on my list.
Yep.
It's kind of like how you guys do with
Yeah.
clients.
And is most of your follow-up via
Text.
like text and then social media?
Text and social media. No disrespect. If they're a little older, I'll send an email.
Yep.
But
Yep.
other than that,
You haven't sent me an email yet, so I feel like I'm still kind of young.
no, you have my actual number.
I know I do. I made you give it to me.
Yeah, I know.
I was like, how many realtors have your actual number?
I'm like 2.
I'm like, I want to be number 3, baby. Let's
Yeah.
go. Am I texting you on your actual number?
Correct.
Am I?
Yeah, you don't. I've never even. I don't even know if you have my work number anymore. Do you?
I probably do, but
Yeah. No, it's all right.
I have gone past the work relationship.
Yeah, we're way past
yeah,
that.
way past that.
Yeah. So like to answer your question, I really just go in that room to plant seeds and build a real relationship.
Okay, let's say there's you and then another hype guy
Okay.
from, and I don't want to keep saying hype guy, it's a bad thing.
Social
A
media.
relationship manager from another company. What is the one thing that makes you different than anyone else in your opinion? What is it? Is it your way that you connect with people? Is it your authenticity, like you said? Is it your relentless follow-up and making sure that you see them again? Like, what is it?
I've been in those rooms. I think what really sets me apart is that I'm not. Jeez, I don't know the best way to say it, but I'm not.
Just say it, baby.
Kissing ass.
Yeah.
You know, like my.
You're
whole-
not pandering for something.
No,
right?
no, not at all. I'm just there to build a relationship, and honestly, my follow up. People probably follow up way better than me, but I send something short and sweet that's meaningful. Like I'm not going to send you a whole.
Yeah, and it's
paragraph
something it's
about the event.
about
Something.
your conversation, or it's not
Correct.
just like, hey, just following up about the whatever, like you're talking about their life, or hey, a good conversation or something like that, right?
Anytime I
Inside
send a
joke.
message, I say, hey, I would love to sit down and actually hear more about your business and you.
Yeah,
And that's where I leave it at.
it's fantastic. But I mean, there's definitely more to the art form that maybe is just that indistinguishable or undescribable trait that you have. And I think it's like when I meet an agent and I tell them, like, or you know, if I'm in my mind, like, is this person going to make it or not? I ask them, and I already know the answer, but I ask them, like, if I picked you up by your head and just plopped you down in the middle of a room full of people, would
Can
you
figure
work it?
out?
Would you talk to everybody? Or are you going to be the one that ends up by the bar or in the back corner and, like, looking at your phone? What is it? And most people, no matter what they say, you just can kind of tell they're not, they can't work a room.
They can't.
And that's, like, not a teachable quality.
Yeah.
It's really not.
No, it's not.
Because, like, you could teach somebody, but they're going to do it robotic-like.
Correct.
You know, they're forcing it. Where, like, you have to love it.
If I guess it's like you said, it's a trait that I probably just learned along the way. Like we moved quite a bit growing up. So like I went to a few different schools.
Yeah.
Like when I lived with my mom actually until I was 11.
Yeah.
And then I moved in with my dad full time after that. So like we moved quite a bit. Like I moved from Burnsville to Plymouth to St. Louis Park to Minneapolis to back to Blaine. So it's just like
you were forced to make new friends.
Yeah. So I was always forced to be in rooms that are at first they're uncomfortable, but when you get older, you learn how to make them comfortable.
Yeah.
And you kind of find those people that look a little uncomfortable and makes them comfortable too.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's a great quality, and I do the same thing.
Yeah.
Like
I know you do.
Like it's not even like it's like a goal in mind. I just see them and I'm like, they should be having fun.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what it is. I'm
Exactly.
like, let's go. You know, and I think if you can make them feel better just a little bit, it might bring them out of whatever they're into that fun part of the party, and then you can form even a bigger relationship.
But do you do that with like even outside of business? Do you do that with people? Like I always find myself doing that.
Totally, all the time.
If I'm
so like this is silly, and I think a lot of people do this. But I was walking out of the Twin Stadium, and there was a homeless guy, you know, and most homeless people asking for money are doing what? They're standing there with a sign,
or
right?
Drum.
Or they're doing the drum. And I have respect for the drummers; they're doing something, right?
Yeah.
But most people are just like standing there with a sign, and not that they don't deserve the money, but for me, I'm just like, you know, like work for it a little bit. Like if you want something, go after it. And this guy was literally going up to people.
Oh wow!
Like in their face. He didn't talk very good English, but he came up to me and he was just like, "Hey, do you have any spare change at all? Anything you can do? I really need it. You know, God bless you, whatever." And at first, I'm with my kids and my wife, and I'm just like, I don't. I'm sorry. And I walked. It took like 20 steps, and I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
I was like, that dude is actually asking. He's like doing it.
Yeah.
You know, and so when I see people that like, they need a little bit of help, especially if they're like trying, like the people, and what I mean by that is these people came to this event. Mm-hmm. They're trying.
For sure.
But they're just like, they need a little help. And I have a soft spot for those people, you know, where I'm just like, I just want to make sure that people see you like, hey, you're doing it. Just keep going, go harder. You know what I mean? And I think that if I was in that position, I'd feel like I would act the same way. I'd be asking for something, and I would just need someone's help.
Yeah.
So I just want to reward that behavior, you know. But all right, pivoting away from Marigold for a minute.
Okay.
Really quick, do you have like a morning routine or any sort of routine that you can touch on briefly?
I have to eat breakfast.
Yeah,
that's definitely the number one thing.
What time do you typically get up?
I get up at about, I guess to start my day, probably about 7.
Okay.
It kind of depends on like my work schedule. So if I have a meeting, I won't work out in the morning.
Yeah.
Unless I can squeeze one in, because I actually like to take like an hour to an hour and a half down there working out.
Yep. In your house?
Yeah, at my house, or I work out at the gym in Blaine too.
Okay.
So, so it's one of those. If I don't have a meeting, then I will work out, and then I'll probably start around like 9:30, 10.
Yeah. That's kind of like me too.
Yeah.
Like I'll typically get out of bed by like 8:30, but I'll be working in my bed for like 30 minutes easily. I'll just be laying there doing some follow up or whatever I have to do. And then I take a while to wake up, dude. I'm not a morning person at all. But I try to, like this morning I walked, and I was sending video texts and posting on social media and all this stuff while walking. I wasn't taking any time for myself, but I was physically
getting out there
doing some things, you know. So yeah, I typically though, I don't like get going until like 9:30, 10.
Yeah, I take a walk, like a half-mile walk. It's not far, but just to get some like stretching in.
Yeah.
As I'm getting old.
It's amazing. Sitting down now is like a workout. I stand up and I'm like, what the hell is going on? My legs feel like they're going to like just snap.
Yeah, you're like, why are my hamstrings so tight?
So tight all the time.
Yeah.
I stretch before I go on a walk. Like, what am I doing?
Yeah, I stretch after.
Sprint. See, I don't stretch after. I get done and I'm like right in the zone.
Yeah.
But I should start stretching after. I like foam roll like way too much now. Yeah. It doesn't even make sense.
I got a Theragun.
I have one of those too. But I'm going to be 37 in like, I don't know, 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
And it's like, dude, I shouldn't be like having to foam roll from like sitting on the couch. But we're just old, man.
It's just getting there.
37 was old when I was
I was 35 in November.
Yeah, you're getting up there, man. You're going to be closer to 40.
Yeah.
Enjoy the last little bit of your youth.
I will. And then after, so I always do all my I guess I'm similar to you. I do all I'll do my follow-ups from bed or on a walk or something like that. I really don't reach out to agents till afternoon.
Yeah.
Because that's I figured out you can catch them on the road usually.
Yeah.
So
for driving.
Nobody wants to answer the phone at 10 or 11 for follow-up calls. So I usually call around, do my calls at 1.
Do people actually pick up the phone when you call?
Agents?
Or do you get better with text?
50-50. I would say texts are a little bit better.
Yeah.
Especially if I'm just saying, hey, I think that's one thing I reach out the first 2 inspections.
Yep.
I'll just see how everything went. And then the 5th one, I take them for coffee. Then the 10th one, I take them for lunch. And then we just continue on.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah. And do you guys have a CRM you use?
We use Wolfpack or Active Campaign. So it links with our software system, Spectora.
Okay.
So everything's in one. So.
And it just will remind you to reach out after the 5th transaction.
Yeah, I just get it. Honestly, Brittany makes my life easy. So it just goes right to my email.
My former BFFFF. You can have her for now. Okay, so little morning routine. So it's kind of refreshing to hear that you don't have this rigid morning routine, because a lot of people in our industry gloat about it, and I'm like, I don't. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, this is what I say, and I firmly believe it. I don't give a shit if you have a morning routine or an evening routine. Everybody has some routine, but the people that are I'm up at 4 a.m. and I do this and this and this, and I'm just I hear you, bro, but I'm up till 2 a.m.
Yeah.
And I do the same shit that you do. I just sleep in a little bit because I don't like the mornings.
Yeah.
I'd rather do stuff at night. It's the same thing. The reason people get up early is because the world's not bothering them.
Correct.
Same thing past 9 p.m. Ain't nobody bothering me.
No.
My kids finally go to sleep. I have a little bit of me time. I can do some follow-up, and I do my routine. The only thing you don't really do past 9 is work out. Mm-hmm. So that's the one thing I squeeze in the morning. But otherwise, I don't really think you have to have a morning routine.
I agree with you. I don't know how many, and I'm sure people do, but I don't know how many people you're reaching at 6 in the morning.
That's the other thing. I always felt really bad sending a text message or something at 6 or 7 a.m.
I'm still old school at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, dude. I'm not calling anybody before 9.
No.
I'd be, and there's times I'm laying in my bed and I'll get an agent that will call me 8 o'clock in the morning for a question on a transaction. I'm like, you are out of your mind.
Yeah.
What are we doing? And then they'll call me again and I'm like, you are really out of your mind.
Yeah.
Do the double tap, they'll call me back. I'm like, I'm not even calling you back now, just from that.
Yeah.
Don't call me at 8 a.m. What are we doing?
Nobody's. I whatever your routine is, go for it. But my thing is are you gonna work harder than me because you're up at 4? I love to see it.
I agree. I think we are both proven entities that you don't have to get up at 4 a.m. to be successful. Now, maybe we could be more successful, Ron. Who knows?
You always can be.
I don't. And then I take a day off on Wednesdays. And I've had people in our industry, a lot of people are excited for me, but I've had a few be like, you're the only agent I know that takes a day off. You should probably work on Wednesdays. And I'm just like, yeah, you should probably fuck off.
Yeah. Do you take Sundays?
I rarely work weekends.
Okay. I know a lot of agents take Sundays.
Yeah. It's really hard to not work weekends unless you have a team or you have some sort of leverage.
Yeah.
I did work weekends forever, but the last 5 years I really haven't. I have a team where, again, we talked about before we jumped on here, I'm willing to pay for my time. Mm-hmm. So I'll give my team members income to go and help me out on the weekends, and they gladly do it. It's just at some point you got to choose your personal life, your sanity, your family over money.
Yeah, over money. And, there's so much. Some people, and some people want that life without putting in that work like this.
Yep, I know. It doesn't really happen. Really quick, what's your why? And where do you get your drive from? So I'll give you an example. My why used to be financial freedom for me and my family.
Okay.
That's what, when you're just getting kicked in the stomach or whatever, and you keep losing. Everybody tells you no. People suck, and you're just in such a bad mood. What makes you rise from the ashes every time and get back to work and do it better than you were doing before? What pushes you?
But the normal answer would be my kids, right?
Yeah.
And obviously they do, but I don't even put them there because if they're already a part of me.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't really need to put them there, right? Especially the people close to me. I'm going to take care of them.
Yeah.
So my why is just getting up every day. I honestly love bringing value to everybody that I'm around. Like, and it's gonna sound really, really simple, but like I really want to bring light to the people that I care about and people in business, personally and professionally.
Yeah.
So my drive, I don't know. I come from like humble beginnings, and my family wasn't always like I guess not my intermediate family, but my uncles and stuff like that. They were pretty rough guys. So
Yeah.
like that's probably my biggest why is like I've seen a lot worse.
Yeah.
So like this stuff now is easy.
Yeah. So you just want to bring people along for the ride with you.
Correct.
Like
People that care about
make their lives better.
Yeah.
Make their jobs easier.
Whatever I can do for you, like I always feel like I could take care of myself. So
yeah,
whatever I can do for you, I would love to do.
It's amazing. I've had a few of these podcasts now, and there's been a lot of people go with like the family stuff. There's been only one other person that's like talked about like other people are their driver. You know what I mean? So that's pretty cool. Like
I agree.
Other people, I care about them, but I guess I'm a little more selfish than you. Like I do want to. Well, why do I run a team? I mean, all this stuff. It's
you run
like
a team. You care about people.
I love people, but it's like my why. Like when I'm like getting my ass kicked, I don't envision like my team or something. I envision like my kids or my wife being like, "Hey, how are we gonna pay for the food today?" Or how we, you know what I mean? So for me, that's always been it. But I love the bringing other people along for the ride. You know?
Yeah, I've taken I lost a lot of like, and it's inevitable, but I lost a lot of important people in my life where like everybody has like those cheerleaders, like you have your special cheerleaders, and like mine are like completely gone. So I had to like, even when my dad passed away, like that was a big transition for me because him and I were like, it came from like dictator, right, as a father to mentor to like best friends. Yeah. So he was like my greatest friend. Yeah. And then like when he passed away, I was like, I can either like go downhill or uphill from there. Yep. So that's kind of like my biggest why is like I've just seen a lot worse. And like I think a lot of people put a lot of stress and anxiety and other things on themselves when they can really just push through.
Well, yeah, there's not a lot that gets you down because you've seen some shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So it's just like...
And that's me too, by the way. We could have a whole other podcast on the shit we've probably seen in our lives. You know, my parents are divorced. My mom's an alcoholic, all that type of stuff. Yeah. Like, I've seen some stuff in my day, and I think as much as it, you know, hey, if I could go back and change some of the stuff that happened when we were children, I would.
But would you be you?
But that's the thing. It made me, I think, who I am today. So in a weird way, I have my mom to thank for some of the qualities I have today. You know, my dad gets a lot of the glory. I look at all the tendencies I have, and I feel like I got them from him. But I'm sure the bad things that happened made me tougher. And like, I think what you're alluding to is like something happens in business. And you're like, oh, shucks. Like, you know, where some people might be devastated and they go into like a hole for like 2 weeks because they lost a listing opportunity or whatever. For me, I'm like, I'll have my 5-second funeral, I call it. I'm like, that sucks. Like, dang it. But then like, I triple down. Like, I'm like, well, I'll show this person. Like, I don't know, you know.
You get competitive,
I
right?
do.
You're like,
dude.
No. Like, no. I'll get another one. I'll show you. I'll get another one.
I just have to go into Facebook for 2 seconds, and then I'm like, all right, all these realtors posting offers accepted and listings and all this stuff. All right, let's get going.
You know, when I got and this is a sidebar, I got a lot of respect for you when we spoke. We were speaking for we had a conversation for about 20 minutes at the winery. Yeah. And I realized how competitive you were. Yeah. I realized it there during the Real Producer panel. Yep. We were in the back talking. Yep. And I was like, this guy's competitive. I like it.
Very competitive. But try to do it in a fun way. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's competitive, but not to the detriment of others. I think some people like literally just don't care about anyone else, and they're just like, I got to be first. It's just like I just think I always know or feel like I can do better. It's like that voice in my back of my head being like, hey, good job, but like you could have got more. Go back, you know. So it's a blessing and a curse at times. But you know, us athletes, baby.
Yeah, you're successful.
Champlain Park Rebels. That's just what they ingrained in us, you know.
I'm gonna switch my hat around.
All right. So give me like the one. I mean, we talked about your dad in real estate already a little bit, but give me like the biggest takeaway. You alluded to him being like your mentor. Yeah. One of the other questions I wrote down was like, who's your mentor, your hero, that type of thing. For me, it's always my dad as well. I don't know if you'd say the same thing, but, being that he was in real estate, what's like one big thing that you to this day know it's from him that either propels you in life or business?
He's a big advocate for, just work harder than everybody else. I think that's really, the easiest thing. He's like, his biggest thing was always like, nobody's going to give anything to you. Like, it's real life. People might, and they might want it back, So he's like, work and you can get whatever you want in this world. You just have to work for it.
I love that he added that they won't give you anything, and if they do, they might want it back.
Yeah,
that part's cool. I've never heard that before. I like that.
Yeah, so he always gave me those jewels that, at 13, 14, you're like, dude, will you just shut your mouth? And then now
I'm just trying to mac on some honeys, Daddy. I don't, I don't need to know this life advice right now.
Yeah, and then you get older.
I'm going to the NBA, son. Like, what are you talking about?
Sense,
yeah. Oh my gosh, I know. There's so many things like that, and we say the same thing on our team. I always say we have a lot of fun. It's like the work hard, play hard thing. It's like we have a lot of fun, but we outwork everybody in the room. Mm-hmm. You are always going to outwork everybody in the room. That's what we do here, and that I think came from my dad as well.
And Curtis is the same way, actually. I was a little frustrated. And I was just like, why isn't anybody working? Like, why don't they want to work?
You sound like me every day.
I'm like, what the hell? He's like, Curtis is like, Ron, you have to realize there's not a lot of people like us that work hard and play hard. I'm like, I'll party all day.
Yeah.
But I'm working.
Yep, I know. It's amazing. All right, let's see here. We've answered some of these. All right, talk about maybe one negative of your business that like kind of eats at you a little bit. And what are some things you've had to overcome? Like what are you doing to overcome that? Any advice for people maybe facing similar negatives or demons within their business? It's got to be something that drives you crazy about it.
I don't even know if it's a negative towards me. It's it's a negative like just within the industry, like the agents.
Yeah.
Like a lot of them they don't have time. And then, like I can do some fact checking and, you might have had 2 houses in the last 8 months. I'm like,
right.
You have time, but you're not even giving me an opportunity.
Right.
I can expand your network at this point.
Right.
So that's kind of, and then, I don't know, I guess since I've met so many agents, you realize how to separate the great ones from the okay ones to the bad ones. Mm-hmm. And you hear so many stories and I meet people all the time. I hear clients like, I'm like, who's your agent? And I know that person now. They're like, I haven't heard from that guy in 2 years. I'm like, well, this guy's wearing like Louis Vuitton shoes right now. So it's like, that's all they care about. It's like, are we in this industry for the people still? Or are we in it for your persona?
Right.
So that's
welcome to my world, buddy.
Yeah.
I got to recruit agents all day, man. It's there is not a more egotistical bunch of people out there.
Oh, man.
And I think once people just learn that, like, it's okay because we can fact check. Like, you're not hiding anything. And that's okay. We all are in the same pool. We're all dealing with the same shit.
Correct.
We all have good days. We all have bad days. Like, let's all just put our ego aside and try to help each other. You know what I mean? Just be honest. And it's amazing how many people cannot. And yes, I do not envy your position for that one thing where you literally have to deal with realtors all day.
Yeah.
And it can be like the greatest thing.
Can be great.
But there's days where I'm sure it's just like, dude, what the hell is wrong with these people?
Yeah.
You know?
There are times where, you walk in events and you're like, I know your numbers. I know what you're doing. Like, it's not like you don't have to come and tell me like.
I know.
Or the biggest one I hate is like, how are you going to earn my business?
Yeah.
Like, well, I'm not. Yeah. So
at this point, you just be like, here's a list of all the agents we work with. Yeah. Do you have that? Because you should get that. And just like plop it down and be like, so do you want to be a part of the club or not?
Yeah, exactly.
Like that's it. You before when you first started, you probably had to do a little more pandering and like I don't know, not begging by any means, but like, selling.
Definitely more selling.
Where now, honestly, I feel like you could literally show up, have a freaking book. You open it up, there's 300 agents in there, all ranked from production.
Correct.
And be like, here's all of our clients. When can I schedule you for your first inspection?
Yeah.
Like, I swear to God.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
I mean, and you don't really, like, they're like, well, I might be able to send you so-and-so. I'm like, I have an agent. I won't name him. But he sent me 10 inspections in like 12 days to end the year.
Wow.
He calls me at 12, or he called me at like 11 o'clock at night. He's like, can you get it booked for the 31st? I was like, yeah, I got you. Let's go.
That's amazing.
And then he's like, this is my 80th transaction for the year.
Incredible.
I was like, sweet.
Yeah.
And he has time for lunch. He has time to do those things.
Everybody's got to eat.
Yeah.
So any realtors out there or anybody listening, you can't fool us. All right. I don't have time. When are you eating lunch? When are you eating dinner? I'll show up and I'll just talk to you while you eat because you're not working.
Do you not like free lunch or free coffee?
Yeah, whatever. People are so funny.
That's one of the negatives.
Yeah.
What was the second question? I'm sorry.
Any advice or like how do you in your mind overcome dealing with kind of fake egotistical people sometimes?
Well, I think I learned that skill from bartending.
Yeah, for sure.
You learn to be around everybody of different tax brackets, right?
Yep.
So it sounds bad, but you learn how to like blend in or be a chameleon with those people, and
Relate with them.
Yeah, you relate with them, and you just like, if I can give any tip, it's just to find common ground. You have common ground with everybody. As much as everybody thinks they're socially awkward or something like that, you have something in common with that person. It's something. If it's kids, if it's your kids playing sports, if it's your job, everybody probably worked at a crappy restaurant in their lifetime. You never know. So
well, and everybody hates the Packers or the Vikings, so you can.
Correct.
It's one or the other. Just got to find them.
Yeah.
And then there's some unfortunate people that were a Blaine Bengal, and then there's the cool kids that were the Champlain Park Rebels. So you just figure it out.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. There's always something that you can relate to people with. Like you just got to find it.
There's something.
And acronym we use in our world, which a lot of people have heard of this, is FORD. You ever heard FORD?
No.
Like how to talk to people? FORD.
Okay.
Family, occupation, recreation, and dreams.
Okay.
So I always tell my team, I'm like, FORD them.
Okay.
Because they're like, well, how do you create small talk? Like, what are you going to talk about? You meet somebody for the first time, you're just standing there awkwardly. Family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. So you either ask them, hey, so like, what are you doing for fun this summer? Or what vacations you've been on? Or, hey, what does Ron in 5 years look like? I'm just curious. You're such a cool guy. What do you got planned? How's the job? Like, it's easy. It's an easy first thing where you can just break down a barrier.
Correct.
And my dad taught me that, and that is something that, again, you alluded to, like going to different schools. Like I went to a really big school in Champlain Park. I met somebody new every day. There was a bazillion kids in the school.
Yeah.
And it's just like, how do you talk to these people? Well, Fordham.
And that's a pretty diverse school too.
Very diverse.
Yeah.
It was
so many different backgrounds.
And I told my wife this. I'm just like, I feel like, because she went to Champlain Park, and I'm like, our kids are they were going to a Christian school, very small, like 20 kids in their class, and only one grade or one class per grade. So like they're with these people forever. And I'm just like, I love the foundation of the Christian school, but like I'm the way I am because of the situations I was put in. Mm-hmm. And I think that our kids need more exposure. So now they're going to go to Centennial this year.
Nice.
And I'm very excited about that because they need the opportunity to meet a bunch of different people.
You have to.
Dude, I made them watch Remember the Titans yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Because I want to start exposing them to some of that stuff, you know what I mean? Yeah. And we had during the movie, I had to pause it like 20 times.
To like explain.
Yeah, because they're like, well, why did they not like them? Because of their skin color.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah,
and they're 7 and 9. And I think that's healthy conversations to have.
Get it in now.
Because they're gonna see, I've been to the school, okay? Yeah. There's signs on the wall that say end racism. There's all this stuff. Which personally, I don't know how you feel about it. I think that makes the problem worse.
Yeah.
By putting that out there, but whatever, because it's. I think it was Morgan Freeman. There was an interview one time, and it was like, I can't remember what the question was. It was something about racism. How do you feel about racism or something? And he was just like, or no, how do you end racism? And he was like, stop talking about it.
Yeah.
He's like, every time you ask the question like this, it triggers people.
Correct.
Just stop talking about it, and everybody treat each other right, and we'll be fine. Yeah. But anyways, I can't remember why I got on that tangent at this point, but.
No, we were just talking about diversity.
Yeah, diversity. Yeah. Just you got to be put in different situations to learn how to talk to people, and it'll treat you really good in life, I think, is the big takeaway there.
Correct.
Don't just sit in your bubble. Like, if you go to an event, frickin' go and talk to other people, and bring your friends who you went with you to go meet other people. Yeah. Like, drives me, especially in our industry, it drives me bonkers.
Well, I had an agent, even, she was like, I'm not going to Minneapolis. Like, I asked her to meet, like, at, like, I want to say it was Spy House. It was like North Loop Spy House.
Yeah.
I was like, whatever. And she's like, I'm not going there. I was like, okay. I mean, like, you're a real estate agent, so do you just not sell houses there or what? Like,
Yeah.
it's
I
not a
only
bad
meet
part.
people I know in
Yeah.
the North Loop, Ron.
It's wild.
Okay. So this one's kind of funny because you are a socialite, you are a relationship manager, but you're also very mysterious.
Oh, man. Why do you say that?
Well, because you said something earlier, like when you go to these events, like you just kind of like be yourself, and you're not like, I don't know, you're not like out and like making yourself seen. You're not like the look at me guy, right? You just naturally kind of chameleon, like you said, and like talk to people, but like you're also mysterious because, like, for example, at least I couldn't find it. You don't have a Facebook.
Nope.
Okay. And your Instagram is very work oriented.
Correct.
There's not a whole lot of Ron Connor's family or any of the stuff that I could find anywhere.
Yeah.
You have 2 phones.
I do.
Only 3 people have your personal number, including me.
3 agents.
3 agents.
Yeah,
Okay,
there you
3
go.
agents, which is, by the way, super smart, and I'm going to do the same thing. But like you're a mysterious guy. Like people know you, but they know Ron, Marigold
They know
Ron.
work Ron.
They know the hype guy Ron.
Correct.
They know the Kevin Hart like saw you slipping on something Ron.
Yeah.
They don't know
Like
Ron Connor. Like
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So like why the hell are you so mysterious? Like are you just are you is it like a sexy thing? Like you think it makes you more sexy? Because it does, I'll tell you.
Okay. Well,
It's got to work with the ladies, being more mysterious. It's just interesting to me.
no, I think it's so funny that you say that because so many people have said that to me. It's
Yeah,
hilarious.
you're mysterious, but I love it. Like, don't ever change. By the way,
Yeah.
because it makes you more interesting.
I don't really like everybody that has their. Okay, this is gonna sound really bad. I don't care about everybody's life that much. Right? So, like, I care about the people that I care about in my personal bubble. Like,
I know.
all my close friends, I still call them on the phone and do the old school things.
Yep.
I don't care about Facebook because I don't care if you're eating an apple at 3:15. I really don't give a shit. You know?
Yeah.
So it's not like during my free time is not going to be looking into other people's lives.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't have Facebook. I guess I really like to.
Would you
it's gonna
consider
sound bad.
you're an introvert?
No.
No.
I would just say I've always been pretty like well known
Yeah.
for like different things.
Yeah.
So you have to like hold some of yourself in,
Right.
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So like it's not always good that everybody knows everything about you.
I agree. It's just because of your position.
Reputation.
That's just like what you do for a living
yeah.
is like connecting with people and like tagging on social and like, you know what I mean? Like, so it's an interesting dynamic because I feel I would be very similar to you if I wasn't in my role.
Yeah.
Because like I say all the time, like I have a love-hate relationship with social media. It's great. It's made me lots of money over the years, but it's a burden because you have to be so dialed in all the time on it. And it's like if I wasn't a real estate agent, I would 1,000%. I'd have a Facebook, but the shit would be locked down.
Yeah.
And I would have like I'd have like
down.
20 friends.
Yeah.
And like it would just be for me to literally like have a time capsule of my kids' moments basically.
Yeah.
Forever. That's the only reason I even like post my kids' stuff on Facebook is because I just want to be able to look back, you know? Because we don't have like photo albums and shit anymore. And I can't keep them all on my phone.
I mean, my mom gave me an old one, but
Yeah, I mean, I have a ton.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have like 20, but I'm not going to do that to my kids. That's way too much time. My parents loved me way more, apparently, than I love my kids because I'm not going to sit and put photos in a photo album.
No, we're not.
Hell no. But yeah, I was thinking about questions last night, and I'm like, he's just mysterious. He's like Batman.
Yeah, I could see that. That might be my new nickname. No, I just really, I really enjoy the people that I enjoy, and I really don't. It sounds bad, but I don't care about everybody. What's going on?
It doesn't sound bad, dude. You know what that is? That's wisdom.
Yeah.
Anybody that's listening that's like under 30 won't understand that.
No.
As soon as you hit like a certain age at 30, I swear you're just like your brain's just like I don't give a fuck.
But like if you, I've always been like I have Snapchat.
Even when you were younger?
Close friends. I've always been like that. Like
Okay.
I always keep the people I need close, and then those are the kind of people that I reach out to. If I'm having a sad day, I'm not gonna be that guy that's like on Instagram like trying to inspire others to get through their sad day. Like it's just not gonna be me ever.
Yeah.
I do Instagram for work.
Yeah.
Because I don't have a personal Instagram.
Yeah.
I put those pictures out there for my job.
I know.
So that's the only reason I have Instagram.
I know what you're doing. It's just fun. It's just mysterious.
No, yeah, I love it.
I think it's great.
And another thing, if I can add on, it's just like I enjoy those one-on-one conversations more. Even when I'm in a room full of people,
Yeah.
I'm not like talking to 5 people at a time.
No.
It's usually one-on-one.
Yeah. You are always like kind of singling people out, which is good. Really quick, what do you like to do for fun?
Drink wine.
Drink wine and
Coach my son.
Coach your son.
That's a huge thing. I don't really enjoy coaching him that much. I enjoy coaching the team because him and I do a lot of work outside of it.
Yeah.
So.
Talk about just briefly coaching, and like just maybe you can kind of combine it with like parenting. Like what's your philosophy with your kids, your personal kids, and then your kids on the team?
Personal kids, just hopefully I can inspire them to, work as hard as me, and then also, change the trajectory of their life too.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's my biggest thing for them. It's just like, hey, let's learn to be decent human beings.
Yeah.
And I think that takes it a long way. And the kids, you never know their backgrounds, the kids I'm coaching. So if you could be a role model, father figure, guardian, or whatever, just be that cool person that they can connect with, because everybody has that coach that they remember back in the day. Like
I still remember mine.
Changed my life.
Bob Peltier.
Oh, that name sounds so
Bob
familiar.
Peltier. He there's actually a Ron Peltier that was Home Services of America like owner. For like Edina Realty, but Bob Peltier is a coach from Champlin.
Okay.
Him and his son Joey. He was my little league baseball coach for like 4 or 5 years growing up, maybe 6, and like I don't know what it was, but he just had a great way of relating with everybody, and I loved playing for him. You know what I mean?
That's
just
awesome.
a
Made
great
difference
guy.
in your life.
Yeah, he did. It was so much fun to like go to play baseball.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's see here. This one's sometimes a hard one for people to answer, and maybe you already answered this, but what would you say is the best advice you've ever received?
Best advice might be from my uncle, and he says, what's the best way? How does he say it? He says, only a fool doesn't accept free knowledge. And he's like, you can always learn from anybody. So like I really took that to heart growing up. I'm just like, everybody thinks like because you're doing way better than somebody doesn't mean they can't teach you anything.
Totally.
So that was that's probably the biggest thing.
What was the quote again?
Only a fool doesn't accept free knowledge.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's my new EXP slogan.
Oh man.
For agent attraction.
This is free game.
Ron Connor says.
No, yeah.
No, actually I do love that because you can learn something from anybody.
Yeah.
Like the homeless guy I talked to, mentioned earlier. I'm sure there's something he could teach me about life.
For
If
sure.
I sat down for 5 minutes,
Definitely.
he'd put some in perspective, and I'd be like, "Shit, man." So yeah, I love learning.
What's the best advice you've ever gotten?
Gosh, yeah, that's a hard one. These questions were for you, not for me.
I know. I was just curious. I like to learn.
Gosh, best advice. Well, so just to kind of tie into the podcast, and I say this to my team members all the time, but the name of this podcast is "Be the Obvious Choice." When I was learning how to make it in real estate, my dad was my manager, and early on, I'm just like sitting here, just like, okay, what am I supposed to do? And he's like, well, you got to fill your calendar with appointments, and I'm like, okay. I was like 18 when I got my license. I'm like, I don't know how to do that. Like, why would somebody want to meet with me? Like, I'm too young, like whatever. And he's just like, and he had like this little cutout of like out of a magazine, and I don't remember exactly what it said, but the title was, you got to be the obvious choice. And he like handed it to me, and he's like, just the only way that anybody's going to ever want to meet with you is if you're the obvious reason that they should meet with you. Like, you're the guy. So you need to do that every single day. And everything that you do, be the obvious choice.
Yeah.
So for me, it's always stuck with me. I'm just like, for the people I want to be in front of in my business, am I the obvious person they should be reaching out to, or is there someone else? And if there is somebody else, how do I become the obvious choice for them?
Yeah.
So that one just always kind of fuels me in every facet. It's not just business. It could be with my kids. How do I become the obvious choice for when my son is 35 years old, sitting on a podcast someday saying that my dad was my hero or is my hero? Like, how do I become that person?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's probably the biggest one for me.
I like it.
Yeah. All right. What does the future hold for Ron Connor? What's your 5-year goal or plan?
Man.
What does it look like when you're 40?
Oh man. Like I had I guess I had a 3 or 4 year plan initially when I started Marigold to get everything going.
Yeah.
So I'm letting that really just drive me. I'm gonna see where that car takes me, and I'm open to anything. I've had quite a few offers here and there.
I'm sure you have.
Yeah. So, you never know. I might look into some of those, but it's up for grabs right now. Honestly,
I mean, it's kind of an exciting place to be.
Yeah.
It's good to have just kind of endless opportunities that you're just not really sure what direction you want to go.
Yeah, well, doors, a lot of, I really can't say it right now, but like a few doors have opened up for me here and there just from being with this company. So, and building connections with everybody.
Well, and rightfully so.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, there's a reason why you were one of the first few people I wrote down on my list of guests I want on my podcast. Is like there's something about you. You just do a good job, dude.
Mysterious.
You're mysterious. It's a Batman.
Batman.
The Batman Terminator guy. All right. So now we're to the really kind of fun part. I call this the lightning round. So it's more like short answers, maybe one answer.
Okay.
If you want to give one answer, then a quick explanation, anything like that. And then we'll be wrapped up. So for those of you still listening, thank you. And I hope you learned something from Mr. Ron Connor. He is a legend and a living legend that one day we'll all be like, oh, shit, dude, you did a podcast with Ron Connor?
Jeez, man.
That's what it's going to be.
Man, I might have to get my own podcast and interview.
Hell yeah, dude. Hey, I'd be on anytime, buddy. Okay, so really quick, lightning round. First question, best aspect of your job?
Flexibility.
Flexibility. In what way? Like,
Curtis gives me a lot of flexibility. He's not over my back all damn day.
Yeah. He just trusts you.
He just trusts me. And if you're bringing in numbers, are you going to check on somebody bringing in numbers? No. So
it's the same thing I have with Kayla, my assistant, or my COO. She runs my business. I was just like, I didn't really hear from you this day, but I know you're not slacking off. You're a big part of this business, just like you are for Curtis. So yeah, I totally get that. What's the most common thing or myth you hear about in your industry? Like whether it's inspections, maybe start there. Like, so for example, the thing that came to mind when I was writing this question down was like, clients, sellers, or buyers, they're like, well, I need to get an inspection because, like, they basically don't think you guys miss anything, right? Yeah. It's just like, hey, they're human beings. Like, people miss stuff, and it's not a foolproof thing, regardless if you get an inspection, right? So for me, that's like something I constantly hear about the inspection community that I have to, like, set expectations on. Like, hey, they might still miss something, so it's not perfect, right? So for you, like in your industry, what is something you commonly hear about or a myth that you want to dispel?
That radon is not real. That's probably the biggest one.
People actually say radon's not real?
Oh, man. I get agents that say it. I get clients that call when I'm booking their inspection. They're like, well, it's not even real, is it?
Oh, my gosh.
I'm like, I don't think it's made up.
Radon is real, folks.
It's real.
Radon is real. It's the second leading.
64.
A 64?
64.
Holy shit, that might be the highest I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Where was that? Like, what city?
Southwest. I want to say near Shakopee.
Is that common down there?
Yeah.
Southwest? Really shit, man. So radon, just so everyone's aware, is the second leading cause of lung cancer, at least when I looked like 5 years ago.
No, it still is. And cigarettes is obviously like high.
But it's like, it was like smoking. I can't remember the level. It was like, I think if it was like an 8, it was like smoking like 2 packs of cigarettes a day or something.
Oh, wow.
If you like lived in the basement, you know what I mean?
Your whole life.
Yeah. 64. Damn. Most annoying thing about realtors. I think we already talked about this one.
Yeah. Yeah, we did talk about it.
It's like fake life.
Yeah, the facade is probably the most annoying thing when you know.
Yeah. Well, and even if you don't know, Like, we're not that
Are you doing it for your clothes or are you doing it for your people? I guess the most annoying thing, what I always say to agents, especially new ones, I'm like, you're not doing heart surgery.
Right.
You are helping somebody in their life. You're helping them transition, but you didn't go to school to be a doctor.
No.
So.
No, you did not. How would people closest to you describe you? Like your best friends?
I would probably say loyal.
Loyal?
Yeah, I'd probably say loyal.
Loyal.
Obviously funny. Charming, sexy.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah. Smells super good.
And 5'11's tall.
5'11's massive. Hey, I'm 5'10", so I can relate. And in the guide for the football for high school, 6 foot.
Nice.
Yeah, baby. But I was 5'10".
I guess another thing, they'd probably call me nuts. They'd probably say I'm crazy. A lot of them, because I don't sleep much.
Yeah.
So like,
what's your average sleep?
Probably like 5 hours.
Really? Yeah, that's not very much.
It's been like that my whole life. I get up, I party hard, and then I get back.
So
up
me calling you the Terminator, Ron Connor, the Terminator.
It's pretty accurate.
That's pretty. You're like a machine, bro.
Almost.
Freaking love it. All right, if you won $10 million tomorrow, what would you spend it on?
I definitely get a bigger house.
I know a realtor for that.
Yeah, I can find. I probably could find one somewhere. Yeah, probably. I don't know, a bigger house. I'm pretty simple. I probably wouldn't buy much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you do anything else with it? Like,
I'd try to make more.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
that'd be
you'd
my number one
invest it?
goal.
Yeah.
I'd get the stuff I need, and then let's figure this out.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I figured you would be on the investment train. I wrote down who's your mentor / hero.
My dad.
Probably your dad.
Yeah.
Yep. For obvious reasons. Most memorable experience you've ever had.
Jeez.
I know, right? This one's kind of hard.
Memorable experience.
I mean, the Kevin Hart one's probably.
Kevin Hart's pretty big. Kids.
Yeah. And I should have said, take the kids out of it.
Take the kids out of it.
It's always number one for sure. Like watching your children.
It's
be
number
born.
one, but like I was just like, man, that's scary for me, man. I'm just like,
You're like
everybody's
amazed
like,
and also like, holy shit, what just happened?
everybody's like, this is beautiful. I'm like,
well, yeah, there is. Yeah.
But no, it's great when you have kids. I guess Kevin Hart was a big one. Traveling quite a bit. Just doing music. Hotels aren't what they are cracked up to be. Everybody thinks it's so fun to live in hotels. It's really not that fun. So I guess just traveling, exploring. Like anytime I go to a different state or city, I like to really immerse myself with the people and get their kind of food in their bar or wherever they do. So Chicago, I forgot the name of the bar, but they had the best Bloody Marys I've ever had in my life.
Really?
Yeah.
In Chicago?
Yeah.
So you just love to travel, love some Bloody Marys?
Yeah, I love traveling. I mean, I love Bloody Marys. I don't know. That's tough, man.
It is a hard one.
That's really
like
tough
for me. If somebody
answer.
asked me that, I don't know if I'd be able to answer it right now. So
I'm still making memories. Though.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you could have said this podcast, but whatever. It's fine.
Yeah.
Do you own your house?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I bought my house in 2013.
All right, perfect. So when you bought your house in 2013, did you get an inspection?
Yep.
Attaboy.
Do I remember the guy? Nope.
Nope.
And he was old and grumpy and.
I really wish you would have said no, that you didn't get an inspection. I was sitting there last night. I'm like, ooh, this would be a fun one.
I didn't have a traditional process though.
Okay.
I bought it from my dad doing a flip.
Okay.
So.
So your dad flipped it and sold it to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he did. It was foreclosed for like a couple of years, and he went through and like I picked paint, picked countertops, everything. So
and you're in Blaine?
I'm in Coon Rapids.
Coon Rapids.
Yeah, right by the city hall.
Okay. Are you a Vikings fan?
I guess by default. I'm more of I was a Tom Brady fan too.
Yeah, so you're like more like the best player. Like you appreciate like top players.
I appreciate top players. I appreciate like people that are grinders too.
Like,
though.
what are your thoughts? Like, who's your favorite player right now?
Everybody hates. I like Mahomes. I like Mahomes. He's a good player.
I love Mahomes, and like, dude,
I like Rodgers. I can't.
Jalen Hurts is a beast too.
He's a beast.
I love watching that guy. Not a ton of personality with him, but he's just so good.
I like Aaron Rodgers. I can't lie.
As much as I should dislike Aaron Rodgers, I do kind of like him.
Dude, he throws that ball. It's like so pretty. Every time. It's just a flick.
I know, and he's you can't hate talent. Like he's just so good. But I love when he loses too because he is such a whiny baby. He's not nearly as whiny as Jay Cutler was.
Yeah,
but he's still like
Jay Cutler was horrible.
Oh, he was the worst, dude. He was by far the worst. Like. But that's why it was fun to watch him and hate him because he would just complain the whole time.
Do you remember that game he just quit?
Yeah.
He's just like, I'm not playing.
I'm just out. I think he got like hit in the chin or something.
Yeah.
And he was just like, I'm done. But anyways, the reason I ask about the Vikings is I wrote down, what do you think their record's going to be this year? Because last year was 13-3, I believe.
13-3. I'm going to go. They're playing 17 weeks now, right?
Yeah.
So 13-3. I bet they get 11 wins.
Yeah, that's why I said like 10-11.
I don't know the strength of our schedule,
but well, we finished first in our division, so we play, a tougher couple games than the rest of the division. That's for sure. But like, our defense was horrible last year.
Yeah, we shipped off everybody,
and we got rid of everybody, so that makes me nervous. But we replaced it with a better strategy, I hope. So like, it just can't be any worse of a defense. I hope.
No Cook, no Thielen.
I love Thielen, but
I love Hawkins.
He was half the man he was last year. He normally would. He was hurt, So, whatever. I'm sure he'll have success in Carolina, and he'll probably like live there because it's way better than Minnesota.
Yeah.
But I'm excited. I love obviously Justin Jefferson, but then KJ, he really stepped up.
He's solid.
And
Hawkinson's a man, though.
Hawkinson, he's great. I love Hawkinson. And Kirk, dude. Big Balls Kirk.
Yeah.
That's his name, by the way. Everybody needs to start calling him Big Balls Kirk.
Is it Colts Cash? Did you see that one?
No.
He had a yellow shirt on during the press conference, and they're like, Kirk Cousins is balling out on Colts Cash.
I did see that.
It's like this. I saw the quarterback show on Netflix, and his wife's just like, we're normal people.
Yeah.
We go to Target.
Yeah, I know. That was the quarterback documentary is awesome. All right, so yeah, we're on the same page there. 10-11 wins. Caribou or Starbucks?
Neither.
All right, so you said like local businesses.
Yeah, I like local.
If you had to choose one.
If I had to choose, I'd choose Caribou.
Attaboy. That's the right answer. Favorite food?
Oh, jeez. I love like traditional cuisine. I like Vietnamese food a lot.
Oh, really?
Italian food a lot.
Okay.
I go to like hole-in-the-wall spots for those.
See, this is that mysterious Batman shit. I'm telling you.
What's the place up here? Stone
Yeah.
Pho?
Yeah.
Stone Pho?
Yep. Right
That
by
place is
Jersey
good.
Mike's and
Yeah.
Verizon store. Yeah. I went there one time with Danny Truong.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't for me, but it was an experience. I don't know. Wasn't my thing.
What do you like?
Pizza.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's
like
pretty
pizza.
simple.
I go to Chanticleer quite a bit.
Dude, yeah, that's right over by you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Chanticleer's delicious. Favorite meal? Now, these are last meal.
Last meal.
What would it be?
Big seafood guy. I probably do like a seafood boil. I love those.
Like, what's in your seafood boil?
All of it.
Anything?
Like,
Octopus?
I like all that. Dude.
Yeah?
I like calamari. I like
You got lobster in there,
lobster.
right?
I have crab. I like
Do you have
crawfish in there.
crawfish in there.
I like
Scallops.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, shrimp.
That's all. If you wanted, that's all I really eat. I don't really. I eat meat like twice a week. Otherwise, I eat.
I
Like,
love seafood. So good.
Yeah.
Favorite realtor?
Oh man, obviously you. Obviously,
I wasn't gonna make you answer that one, but yes, you.
It's like a grandparent with grandkids. Like,
Dude.
I have to say who's in front of me.
I put a smiley face next to it because I knew you weren't like. That's not even possible to answer it. But it is me, in case anybody didn't hear him say that. You said you traveled a little bit. What's your best vacation spot?
Best vacation spot. My uncle lives down in Smyrna, Georgia.
Georgia. Okay.
Yeah, I
Never
think
heard of
that's
that.
what they call. It's like 20 minutes outside of Atlanta.
Okay.
So it's a nice suburb. I think they just built a new ball field down there.
Okay.
So we're really close. So I love hanging out down there with him.
Yeah. What do you guys like do? Like what makes it memorable?
My family's really big into boxing.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, I love like live boxing.
Yeah.
Watching boxing is like
If it's a
live
good fight,
boxing is sweet.
Yeah, live boxing's awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, like we really we get down. He comes up for the fights, or I'll go down for the fights and hang out. That's pretty. I mean, I'm a pretty relaxed guy, man.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of partying in my life.
Yeah.
So
Is it like legit like boxing, or is it like the Golden Gloves type stuff?
no, it's a legit boxing.
Okay.
It's usually like for the big matches.
What's like the amateur like downtown in Noka? They'll do some boxing sometimes. What's that called?
I don't know.
I went to something when I was like in high school,
Okay.
and it was like people that didn't even know how to fight, basically.
Oh no.
But it was so entertaining to watch because people are just getting freaking knocked out cold because
Yeah, they don't know.
they're not defending, they're just swinging.
Yeah.
And I was like, whatever this was, I want to take my kids to it one time because it was hilarious.
I seen amateur wrestling one time in Stillwater. That was
Yeah,
the
dude.
most wild thing I've ever been a part of.
Dude. So sidebar, I'm a big wrestling fan actually.
Like back in the day.
Yeah, well, and I still I actually follow it vicariously through like TikTok now. Like
Okay.
there's a couple guys that like they watch it and then they recap it. So I always know what's going on, but I don't ever sit down and actually watch it anymore. But yeah, back in the day, like every Monday Night Raw,
Oh, yeah.
I put in a pizza. I would eat the whole pizza and watch Monday Night Raw, dude. It was like, and then Monday Night Football is like the greatest time of my life. But my buddy sent me this video recently, and there's some wild amateur wrestling right now.
Yes.
There was one. I've seen two. One was a referee in the middle of the ring, and it was an invisible man versus an invisible man. So it was the referee pretending there were two invisible men fighting, and like there's a crowd, and the crowd's like going nuts, right?
Oh my God.
And then like one of the invisible men hits the ref in the back of the head, so the ref's like selling it, you know. And then he got thrown through a table The Invisible Man got thrown through a table, so like you'd see the ref, like he'd look at him like, no, like he's like, tell him don't do it, and then all of a sudden he looks at the table, and he's like, oh, and like they had something rigged to the table where it like just like snapped without anybody touching it.
Oh wow!
It was the funniest shit I've ever seen. But the best one was a man versus a camping tent.
What?
Look this shit up, dude.
I gotta see this.
It's hilarious.
I will be.
He got beat by a camping tent.
Dude, I will be in tears if I watch that. I don't need to watch that.
There's some wild amateur wrestling.
Who's your favorite wrestler all time?
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh man,
It's not even close.
mine's probably Shawn Michaels.
Really?
Shawn Michaels.
I mean, he's good.
Yeah.
He's so entertaining, but Stone Cold, dude, he was
NWO.
Oh my
like
gosh.
My life.
NWO.
I thought I was them for a little bit. Yeah.
NWO, baby.
Sweet.
Get Scott Hall just
Yeah.
picking somebody. Yeah, dude. All those guys, I love that whole era. The Attitude Era was insane. So sad that it's not here anymore. Favorite restaurant in Blaine, because I live in Blaine, and a lot of the people I have on this are from Blaine.
It's an easy.
What is it, baby?
Bricks.
Bricks. What's your go-to at Bricks?
Well, see,
And, like, why is
we've
it?
gotten old,
Yeah.
right? I'm like, hey Tyler, let's go split some appetizers.
Yeah.
I never get a whole meal.
Yeah.
Ever.
That's smart.
I love Bricks, and I'm a huge fan of soups, and they have different soups all the time.
God, you are so old.
I know. I eat
Wine
soup
and
everywhere.
soups
I
and
eat
splitting.
soup
Do you
everywhere.
split the soup? Do you each have a
Oh
straw?
no, I don't split the soup, but I love soup. Like every restaurant, Curtis makes fun of me. He's like, "What's your soup?" Just to joke around. I'm like, "I'm gonna order."
What's your favorite soup?
Oh man, that's tough. Actually, I like Zuppa Toscana. It's probably my favorite.
I'm a big broccoli cheddar guy from Panera.
That's solid.
It slaps hard.
It slaps.
Yeah.
Olive Garden Zuppa Toscana. I'll bring you some.
Zuppa Toscana. It's from Olive Garden.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or
Does Zuppa's have it? The new Zuppa's? There's a
don't know.
restaurant called
I don't think-
Zuppa's.
Yeah. No.
I would not have taken you for a soup guy.
I am. I'm old.
So Bricks has a great soup and app. What's your okay? So this is kind of a weird one. Favorite drink, okay,
Okay.
but it's a two-parter. It's a favorite drink and favorite spot to have it, because I personally feel like a Bloody Mary is good, right?
Okay.
But
whatever.
my favorite drink, because of the place I would have it, would be like an old fashioned at Burned by Rocky Patel in Mercado in Florida, because it's a big cigar bar and you feel like a freaking badass.
Okay.
It's all dim in there.
cigars?
Huh?
You smoke cigars?
Every now and then, yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Probably like 2, 3, 4 a year. I don't like do it a ton, but on occasion. But like when I think of like what's the best place I've ever had a drink, like sitting there, dude, you feel like Tony Montana, just like the high backed smoking chair. It's all dim, the bar's all orange, and you're just,
Yeah.
dude, that was
I
it for me.
think my place was actually in Chicago. I just went in October. I think the place was called the Cabana.
The Cabana, okay.
You been there?
Mm-mm.
It's River North.
In Chicago?
In Chicago, River North.
I haven't been in Chicago in a long time.
We should go.
We should go.
River North is like, I wish they had somewhere like this in Minnesota. So like all the restaurants are lined up and you can eat in the street. So you're
love
like
that.
walking up the avenue, I guess.
Yeah.
And they had these things called, I'm not going to say it right. They're like caparinas.
Okay.
It's almost like a mojito,
Okay.
but it's like, I don't even know the alcohol they use. It's almost like a mojito, but it's like raw sugar cane and then like limes. So
Sign me up.
this is so good.
Yeah.
And they're really strong.
But like, well, that's even better.
Yeah.
But the place is sitting at the bar,
The
and
place,
is it open, like outdoor
it's
bar?
open, so I guess the place would be, the bar is inside actually.
Okay.
But there's like the patio is the street.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like, is it like skyscrapers?
Yeah,
all over?
skyscrapers
Yeah.
everywhere.
That would be
it's
sweet.
awesome. Or I had a martini at the John Hancock there too.
Mm.
It was like a chocolate martini, which I would never drink, but I was on the 96th floor, so like it
Right.
made sense.
That actually spiked my memory. We were in New York City one time, and we went to this like old school, like it would be like a 1920s bar,
Okay.
way up in some skyscraper. I don't know where it was, but they had like live music, and you're like overlooking New York City.
Yeah.
And again, old fashioned, but like that was another good spot where it's just like, dude, this is like I'm in a movie right now. Like it was just super cool. But all right, few more for you.
Yep.
Favorite thing to do in Blaine, if you had to
Blaine.
pick, like, is it going out to eat? Is it Is it going somewhere else? Is there a spot you frequent that you like to have fun at?
Jeez. No, I don't. I mean,
Maybe it's Target.
I do go to Target in Blaine, so
For my wife, it's Target.
that
She's
is
like,
mine
yeah,
too,
Target.
actually,
Yeah.
probably. But like, I avoid Wild Bills at all costs because I went to Blaine.
Yeah.
So like, no, I don't really need
It's
a
high school reunion.
No,
Yeah.
I don't want that. So like, probably. I mean, that sounds bad, but shout out to Ash. I like Target too.
Here's a fun game to play.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just if you're super bored one day.
What's that?
Go into Target,
Okay.
walk down every aisle without buying something, and leave. I've done it once.
Oh, you can't do that.
I did it.
That's painful.
I was having a really bad day, I'm pretty sure. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to go to Target. And I walked around and like out of spite, I was in that bad of a mood. I'm like, I'm not fucking buying anything here, Target. Like I was just like mad at the world that day.
I usually spend $100, but not
Yeah.
today.
I was like, my wife needs that. Not getting it for her. Like, you know what I mean?
She texts you a grocery list, still not good.
Yeah, I was like, I went to Target today. Didn't buy shit.
Took me 25 minutes.
I think I'm the only human being to accomplish that feat. So I'm just saying, if you can do it, let me know.
I might try it. Maybe I don't know.
It's hard.
I like Target.
I love Target.
I don't know. Like Blaine doesn't. That's what they.
I know.
There's
I know.
nowhere to like.
There's
really
some
hang
stuff
out.
coming, bro. There's some stuff coming.
Does
I'm gonna
Blaine
have.
even have a hole in the wall bar?
I mean,
bro?
down by like Northtown, there's
I'm gonna
there's some hole in the wall like billiard rooms and stuff like that are kind of cool.
Oh really?
Yeah, it might be Coon Rapids. It's like right on the border.
CR Billiards.
Yeah,
That's Coon Rapids.
is it? Dude, that place is sweet. I like that place a lot. Cheap food.
I go to Bear House or Chanticleer. It's probably one of my favorite places to drink in the North Metro.
Yeah, gosh, I don't really go to too many like hole in the wall places.
I'm gonna go. Johnny Walker's like $5.75 there, so that's why I go there.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
just Johnny Walker straight.
Johnny Walker Black on the rocks.
But yeah, I'm having the mayor and city council member on here,
Oh, nice.
and we're gonna dive into what's going on in Blaine because there's some sweet things coming, dude.
Heck yeah.
So stay tuned. Do you have any hidden talents?
Oh man, hidden talents.
Like, well, you can rap.
I can rap. I guess that's a. I mean, it's
Can you
hidden in the song.
beatbox?
No, I can't beatbox.
Can't beatbox?
No. Jeez, I wasn't expecting that question.
That's a hard one because like I feel like I'm pretty cool, but I don't think I have any hidden talents.
Yeah, I think I'm
like,
a pretty solid
I'm
person.
really good at video games. Like that's not really a hidden
Yeah.
talent.
I don't know. People probably say I'm really like twitchy, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like quick reflexes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I guess I used to box a little bit growing up, so
Okay.
yeah.
She got that quick twitch.
Yeah.
I like that. Now you go to do it, don't you? Blow a hammy.
Yeah. No.
You ever pulled a hammy, by the way?
Yes.
Dude,
I used to think athletes were babies. I was
Right.
like, dude, quit fucking crying.
I know.
about your hamstring. And then I pulled mine. It was
when did you
3
pull
months.
one?
Like last year.
Okay, so that was me too. Like basically when I turned 35, 34, I was playing softball. The one time a year I play,
Yeah.
pulled a hammy. It was horrible.
Months.
I was like, oh my God. Like this is what a pulled hammy. I thought I like tore something. And no, it's just pulled hammy. I'm like, oh, I see why people sit out for like 3 games in the NFL now because of a pulled
Yeah,
hammy.
I used to think they were babies.
Totally did. And I had never pulled a hammy until mid-30s.
Me either.
Ever. And then the next year, the softball tournament, same freaking thing. I was like, are you kidding me?
You pulled it?
Pulled it again.
Jeez.
Yeah. So me and the sprinting days are done.
Yeah.
I'm going
it's the
75%.
quick- It's the quick.
It's the quick
Yeah,
twitch.
You can't.
Oh, and it's so bad. I don't even know how to describe it. It's just like a ball
Yeah, it's just
in
like
your hammy. It
my
just
right one
hurts.
is so tight.
Oh. I know this one already. Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok? If you just pick one.
Snapchat. I like
That's an acceptable answer.
Instagram. It probably
Insta?
It works well, but Snapchat's like the
Are you on TikTok?
no.
Oh, bro. There's
Are
some
you?
good shit on TikTok.
I heard there is.
It's funny. It's just so funny. It's a time waster though. So like,
I like Snapchat because like if I'm gonna send something like it's something that you and I are gonna get and it's gonna be hilarious.
right,
You know.
right. No, I get it. You answered that one. What show are you binging right now, or have you binged recently?
I just got done watching Hijack
Hijack
on Apple
Oh,
TV.
okay.
Idris Elba.
Okay.
The plane.
I love
gets
Idris Elba.
hijacked.
Okay.
So,
It's about a plane that gets hijacked.
yeah.
Sweet.
And I just started Blackbird like 2 nights ago.
Okay. I like that.
I
Yep.
didn't see it.
Yep.
yet, so.
I'm really into Suits currently. They just put that on
I heard that's
Netflix.
good.
I'm in season 4. It's pretty good. But yeah, some people, it's amazing how many people don't watch TV, but I like it. I love it. Do you read books?
Audible.
What's your best book recommendation?
Last one it's kind of a self-help one. In a sense, they're all kind of redundant.
Yeah.
But the Grant Cardone 10X.
Yep.
Was it 10X?
Yep. I have the same one. Mm-hmm.
I like that one a lot because, it did teach me some things. And then I've met a lot of agents who haven't read the 7 levels of communication.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, how do you not read that as a real estate agent? I've even implemented some of those things.
Because real estate is a fallback position, dude. It's not, no one's like, I'm going to be a realtor when they're like 5. It's just like they fail at something and then they're like, I'll try real estate. You know what I mean? It's one of those weird, you can make a lot of money.
Correct.
But most people, it's like, wasn't their first plan,
Yeah.
So there's a lot of amateur stuff going on in here in our industry because it's just, I don't know how to describe it. It's like the land of misfit toys. Like we're just like all running around, not really knowing what we're doing. A lot of us, it's not really actually a business. It's just like,
it's networking.
I like pretty houses and, I'm just like, okay.
I think it's so crazy when I meet real estate agents and they're like, I don't really like people.
Right.
I'm like, what?
Good luck.
Yeah.
Like, I will say that at this point in my career, and I mean this in the best way possible, people suck. But like,
for sure.
But that doesn't mean I don't like people.
No.
I like people. They just suck.
Correct.
Like, and it's not even that they suck like they're doing it intentionally. It's just people have their own shit going on. Like and realtors, unfortunately, we're kind of annoying, so they don't want to be bothered by us, and I get it.
Mm-hmm.
But people suck. It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
I suck. You suck. Well, you don't suck. You're awesome.
No,
I definitely suck. I know that I do. Okay, like 3 more, and then we're wrapping up. So what's your go-to order at McDonald's?
French fries.
That's
Large
it?
French fries.
That's it?
Yeah. I don't really eat McDonald's.
You don't have the chicken nuggies?
No, I like large French fries. French fries are my favorite food, probably.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, you said soup, so are we going to... What if there's a French fry soup?
Doesn't have good soup, though.
What if there's a French fry soup? Would you have a French fry soup? Would you try it?
I would try anything. I love oysters.
You come over to my house, I'm going to make you some French fries and just mash them up into a bowl. Put a
some
little
broth
water in
in
it.
there.
Yeah, broth. There you go.
Some peas in there.
It's a large McDonald's fry soup. What do people misunderstand about you most?
I think I guess the mysterious thing, but like I get prejudged a lot.
Yeah.
Like even maybe where I'm from, or I think a lot of, like I get people that are like, you're from Edina. I'm like, I'm not from fucking Edina.
They think you're from Edina?
I hear it all the time. Like they think I'm from like some crazy like ritzy area.
Really?
Sometimes I'm just like, what?
You do not give that vibe off at all.
I don't get it. That's one thing.
I mean, you seem like a bum from Blaine to me.
That's me too. Yeah. No, I think that's one. Yeah. Or yeah, I think that's probably the biggest one.
Just thinking that you're from a ritzier area.
Or not even just that. Like they might like stick me in a box with like somebody else, or
yeah. And like professionally, you're saying?
Professionally or personally.
Okay.
I get those.
Huh. You always come off as a genuine dude.
Yeah, I try to. I try to be genuine and be honest with the connections.
If anybody out there is judging you, you tell me about them and I'll go fight them around.
No.
Okay.
No, you don't want to do that.
Yeah. I don't know how good that would be for anyone. But if they're small, tell me, and I'll fight them. Yeah. Last one I wrote down was favorite childhood memory.
Honestly, because I see it so much, probably just my brother and I outside enjoying life. No phones.
Yeah.
Parents didn't know where we were. Like, we got into so much trouble.
Yep.
Like, those are probably, like, I can't just give you one. But
that time
just
in
that
your
time,
life.
just, like, hanging out.
Before the internet.
That was pre-Y2K.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we maybe had AOL. Maybe.
AOL. I didn't even do that, though. A lot of kids did, but.
But definitely no cell phone. Yeah.
Or like getting on the bus or the train to go to the mall to go shopping before I could drive or something like that.
Isn't that wild that like before, like when our life was more quote unquote inconvenient, it was like some of the best times. Because like I think what it comes down to is like the expectation of the world.
Yes.
Back then was like well, yeah, I can't check in with my parents right now. I don't have a freaking landline.
Yeah, no.
Like, they're just gonna, I'll be home later, you know. Or now it's like my son, he has an Apple Watch. When he goes to his friend's house, I expect him to let me know what he's doing. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure that's a burden on him. And it's also a burden on me because I'm like, well, I can check in with him. So if I don't, does that make me not a great parent? You know, like, it's just the expectations of the world that are like so different now. And I do miss that time because I feel like when they look at our generation 1,000 years from now, I really strongly feel like they're going to look at us and be like, wow, that generation dealt with a lot of shit.
Correct.
They were a freaking science experiment. We dealt with no internet, then 5G, waves, COVID, like all this shit, right? That we don't know what we're doing. I don't know what this is going to do to me someday. We all think it's safe, but I'm doing this all day.
Yep.
My phone to my ear. And like, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if someday heart failure and stuff isn't the leading cause of death. It's going to be brain cancer and
something.
You know what I mean? It's like, because just the world's so different. So yeah, our generation has had amazing experiences because we know what it used to be. Like my kids and your kids don't really know that world, you know what I mean? But we know like how simple it kind of was.
Yeah, for sure. I think we are in the best because like we've learned those old school morals too from like our parents and our grandparents and and now we're cool enough to transition to our kids too that don't learn. So I think we're right in between it, which is awesome.
Yeah.
We still look at people in the eyes when we speak to them and
right.
all those old school things where like you meet even 21-year-olds now.
Yeah.
They have trouble doing those things.
I know. Well, the last thing I have written down here is where can everybody find you, find your business?
You can find at Ron MHI on Instagram, or you can just search Marigold Home Inspections.
Yep.
And then if you want to be a creep, you can go through the followers and find me if you want. No, I'm joking.
Don't look on Facebook because he doesn't have one.
No, don't look on Facebook. No.
But
I was thinking about starting one, honestly.
You should.
Yeah.
But only do it for like your real friends or something.
I was going to do it for
just
work.
For business. I mean, you should.
Yeah.
In my opinion, but do whatever you're comfortable with. You're crushing it either way, so you don't really need it.
I appreciate it.
It does become one more thing you have to post to, and you can
just like post the same thing?
Can, but it doesn't always work. And if you tag somebody on Facebook, it doesn't correlate it to Instagram, so you have to go edit the Instagram post. Trust me, it's a lot. So do it if you want, but you have been warned.
Well, we're looking to find another me, honestly. So
yeah.
I'm shooting for a girl though.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I think that'd be smart.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just because there's going to be those people that they would like to work with a female.
Correct.
And so you might as well bring something different to the table because you're never going to find someone probably as good as you, another male. No. So you got to bring a different dynamic, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's super smart. Well, Ron, thank you so much for being on the podcast today. I learned a ton. I'm sure there's lots of people out there that probably took a few things away. So, I just can't thank you enough for what you've, done for just me and my team and working with all of them and helping us out and all of our clients and just being a good friend in my life. I really appreciate you, man. I love you.
Yeah.
And, thanks again.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate you.
All right, buddy. Thanks. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a wonderful day.